My husband is dead because his first love took her own life before she left. His first love left a letter that read, "I wish I could be your wife in our next life." At that moment, Lu Jinan's expression remained unchanged. That night, I heard the sound of running water from the bathroom. When I pushed the door open, I found Lu Jinan collapsed in the bathtub. Beside him lay a hastily scrawled note with wild, sprawling handwriting. "All right. I'm coming to find you, after 5 years of marriage." I had no idea Lu Jinan's feelings for her ran this deep. I opened my eyes and found myself reborn. Back in my high school days, I said to Lu Jinan, who was diligently working on his test paper under the classroom fan, "I'll let you in on a secret. Lin Tang is your future wife." Lu Jinan and I grew up together, and now we've been married for 5 years. At night, I hugged Lu Jinan tightly from behind, nuzzling my cheek against the nape of his neck. "For our anniversary, you promised to go to Haishur with me to see the ocean." Lu Jinan gave me a gentle kiss on the cheek and softly said, "Okay." Just before boarding, Lu Jinan became inexplicably distracted. He asked me, "Do you have to go?" "What?" I was busy looking up travel guides and didn't catch what he said. Lu Jinan lowered his gaze and gently stroked my cheek with his thumb. "It's nothing," he said. We arrived in Haishur by plane. The sea breeze was cool and gentle, but Lu Jinan looked pale, claiming airsickness, and went straight back to the hotel, worried sick. I turned back to the hotel to find him. Pushing the door open, I found Lu Jinan wasn't resting. Instead, he was pacing back and forth on a call, his usually stern face etched with rare anxiety and unease. Unfortunately, no one was picking up on the other end. I asked with concern, "What's wrong?" Lu Jinan was startled. He quickly put down his phone and forced a smile in my direction. "It's nothing, I just can't get a hold of the HR manager at the company." Lu Jinan is a bona fide workaholic. He hasn't taken a single day off in years. I once asked Lu Jinan why he worked so hard. He gently booped my nose and smiled affectionately. "To take care of you, my princess." I walked over and gently rested my head against Lu Jinan's chest. "Don't work yourself too hard," I said. "It hurts me to see you like this." He held me close and smiled. "Okay." I didn't notice the slight rasp in his voice. I practically dragged Lu Jinan to try the famous barbecue spot. The platter arrived, sizzling and aromatic. I dug in with gusto, but he kept glancing at his phone, picking at his food as if it were sawdust. I snatched his phone and unceremoniously stuffed it into my coat pocket. Lu Jinan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The barbecue restaurant was indoors. A flat-screen TV mounted in front of the tables was playing the latest entertainment news. A stern-faced female anchor reported, at 9 a.m. this morning, actress Lin Tang was found dead in her home. The cause of death was severe depression, having taken an overdose of sleeping pills. Homicide has been ruled out. Before her death, Lin Tang left a suicide note that read, "I wish I could be your wife in the next life." As is well known, Lin Tang never married or had children, dedicating her entire life to her acting career. To think she took her own life over a matter of the heart is both tragic and poignant. With a heavy clatter, Lu Jinan's chopsticks fell onto the wooden floor. I looked at Lu Jinan and saw his face had gone as pale as paper. His dark pupils were trembling violently, and his bloodless lips moved soundlessly, failing to produce any words. I had never seen the usually composed and self-possessed Lu Jinan in such a state before. After a long moment, Lu Jinan finally collected himself. Pressing his lips together slightly, he regained his composure and said, "It's nothing. Just a bit dizzy." After that, Lu Jinan behaved as if nothing had happened. He even joined me for a boat ride and a stroll through the lavender fields. I was lost in my own happiness, blind to the hidden anguish and despair in his eyes. In the dead of night, a strange sound of water roused me from sleep. I got up and pushed open the bathroom door. What I saw left me utterly stunned. Lu Jinan lay on his back in the water-filled bathtub. Blood flowing from his left wrist had stained the entire tub crimson, while his right hand hung limply, feebly clutching a blood-stained knife. Sobbing, I tried to pull Lu Jinan out. He was down to his last breath. He whispered, his voice as faint as a mosquito's hum, yet it thundered in my ears, "Lin Tang, I love you." Too, those words echoed in my mind. Even as the ambulance arrived and the paramedics hurriedly lifted Lu Jinan onto a stretcher, I couldn't snap out of it. I sat outside the emergency room all night, numb and hollow like a walking corpse. The operating room light went out. The doctor came out, removed his mask, and said to me with regret, "I'm sorry, we did everything we could." My legs gave way, and I staggered a couple of steps before collapsing to the floor. Beyond the sorrow in my heart, what I felt most was a profound sense of bewilderment. Before I followed the ambulance to the hospital, I saw a letter beside Lu Jinan, blown to the ground by the wind. On it, in his bold, sweeping, and forceful handwriting, He had written with the most fervent and profound emotion, "Alright, I'm coming to find you." Those 5 words shattered my heart, and tears of disbelief instantly welled up in my eyes. In high school, Lin Tang was Lu Jinan's first love, but all these years we've been together, Lin Tang has never once been a part of our lives. While waiting for the surgery, I pulled out Lu Jinan's phone from my coat pocket, the one I had never looked through before. My whole body was shaking so violently that I couldn't even hold my phone steady. When I unlocked his phone, I discovered that all those calls he claimed were to the department manager were actually made to an unknown number in another city. Note, sweetie, seeing that pet name made my heart clench. Just 10 minutes before we boarded the plane, Shabwai sent Lu Jinan one last message. "I'm so tired. I still can't bear the thought of you being with someone else. I wish you and your wife all the happiness in the world. We'll meet again in the next life." The next second, Lu Jinan replied, his tone frantic and desperate. "What's wrong with you? Don't scare me, Lin Tang. I give up. Alright, I'll divorce her." But Lin Tang never replied again. My heart shattered into pieces at Lu Jinan's words, "I'm divorcing her." An agonizing pain radiated through every fiber of my being. I remembered Lu Jinan's strange behavior on the plane, wearing headphones but frowning, unable to sit still, clearly restless. Pages of red, missed calls filled the call log. The usually aloof and distant Lu Jinan had been dialing relentlessly. Over and over, Lu Jinan had always been so rational and composed. I had never seen him lose his composure like this in front of me before, but now, he's gone to be with his sweetheart, leaving me behind. 3 After returning home from Haishur, I was in a daze for days. After graduation, Lin Tang and I drifted apart, and I never knew Lu Jinan's feelings for her ran so deep. All those years with Lu Jinan feel like a lie. I never truly knew the real him. The turmoil continues. Lu Jinan's suicide became known. The timing was far too coincidental. They were even in the same graduating class and homeroom at Bailin High School. Some keen-eyed netizens quickly unearthed Lu Jinan and Lin Tang's teenage romance. They posted the findings online, and it went viral overnight. Back in their awkward school uniform days, he'd smile at her antics, but later, for reasons unknown to anyone, they went their separate ways, and those unspoken feelings were never voiced again. They each shone brilliantly in their respective fields, yet no matter how high they climbed, they had lost the right to hold each other. My heart felt utterly hollowed out. Numbly, I kept scrolling through those videos, over and over. Dressed in a sharp suit at the corporate event, Lu Jinan's gaze never strayed from the stage, where the invited guest, Lin Tang in her crimson dress, held his attention. His eyes were filled with a poignant mix of longing and concealed heartache. Every year, at the stroke of midnight on the same day, Lu Jinan's secret Weibo account would post a birthday wish for Lin Tang. He would accompany the post with a picture of the little rabbit Lin Tang loved most, carefully and tenderly writing, "Happy birthday, Lin Tang." Even the inexpensive wristwatch Lu Jinan carried with him everywhere, which he forbade others from touching, was a gift Lin Tang had given him many years ago. A radiant, flamboyant starlet and a reserved, dignified corporate executive, their love was doomed, leaving them both with profound regret, until they ultimately chose to die together. Everyone was moved to tears, lamenting that the two of them were a real-life version of Liang Shanbua and Zhu Yingtai, and I, the lawful wife, was cast as the female counterpart to Ma Wenkai. I was laughing and crying like a madwoman. Lu Jinan and I grew up together for 20 years. Even when his family fell on hard times, I found every excuse to help him, careful not to hurt his pride. After graduating university, I stuck by Lu Jinan as he started from scratch. We tried living in rented rooms and surviving on instant noodles together. In the bone-chilling winter, we huddled together for warmth under the icy-cold covers. He kissed me as we dreamed up every single thing we wanted to accomplish in the future, yet none of that companionship could ever compare to the fleeting glimpse of Lin Tang from my high school days. Does all my time and youth mean absolutely nothing in Lu Jinan's eyes? I never expected this. My private information has been exposed. I was on my way to collect Lu Jinan's ashes. A group of extremist fans blocked my path. The one at the front threw sulfuric acid at me, her face contorted as she screamed, "You homewrecker who ruined Lin Tang and Lu Jinan, die." The concentrated acid splashed into my eyes, eating away at my skin. The excruciating pain was unbearable. I looked up and stood only to find the entire class staring at me. "Jiang Qianyao, not only are you sleeping in my class, you're talking in your sleep. Don't think your family's money means you can do whatever you want." For my mind cleared, and the dizzy haze before my eyes gradually sharpened into focus. I saw my high school homeroom teacher, her face a mask of barely contained fury as she glared at me, and I saw him too, Lu Jinan, sitting beside me. He was ramrod straight in his school uniform, his gaze fixed intently on the blackboard. He was wearing black-framed glasses, with stray locks of hair falling across his forehead, radiating the spirited confidence of youth. I overheard someone whispering, "Miss Jiang is pestering Lu Jinan to tutor her again. What a waste of effort. She just sleeps through the whole thing. Lu Jinan must be so annoyed, the top student in the grade, and he's caught the eye of a spoiled rich girl." The homeroom teacher bellowed, "Jiang Qianyao, tell me the answer to this question. If you can't, you'll stand outside." My college major had nothing to do with science, and I've long since forgotten everything I learned in high school. I stared blankly at the jumble of mathematical symbols dancing on the blackboard. 1/3, a low voice reminded me. 1/3. I didn't choose to give the obvious answer that was right there for the taking. Instead, I said, "Teacher, I don't know." The moment the words left my mouth, I gathered my textbooks and walked out. I saw the stunned look in Lu Jinan's eyes for no other reason than this. The answer had come from Lu Jinan, and I wanted no part of it. In my teens, I was more interested in having fun than studying. After barely scraping into the top class, I quickly fell to the bottom of the pack. I ended up at a mediocre university near Lu Jinan's prestigious one. While he was the celebrated academic star everyone knew, relying on our lifelong friendship since childhood, I could always count on Lu Jinan to bail me out whenever I was stumped by a teacher's question in class. When Lu Jinan's family fell on hard times, I used the pretext of hiring him as my tutor to pay him a generous salary. My blatant favoritism towards Lu Jinan led many to mock me behind my back, calling me his hopeless simp. Years later, when I started a business with Lu Jinan, I transformed from a spoiled young lady into someone who could face repeated rejections while seeking investment, wipe away my tears after being humiliated, and just keep pushing forward. Looking at Lu Jinan, who seemed so much younger and more naive compared to the man I knew years later, a storm of complex emotions churned inside me, and hatred surged up unbidden. In this lifetime, I will never make the same mistakes again. Class was over. My legs were sore from standing the entire period, so I leaned against the wall and kicked my heels back a few times. But then I saw Lu Jinan walking straight towards me with his workbook. His voice was gentle as he asked, "Tired? I've explained this problem several times already. This time, I've written out all the solution steps on the page. Take another good look." With a faint smile, Lu Jinan handed me the open workbook. Notes were written on it in red ink, the characters elegant and neatly formed. Just looking at that handwriting, I was reminded of that night with the biting sea wind, and the 5 words he had scrawled with such wild, unrestrained affection. 2 years ago, Lu Jinan's family went bankrupt overnight. His father fled, and his mother sank into a deep depression. He was mocked as a fallen noble, a destitute young master with nothing left but his pride, and many people took the opportunity to bully him. I charged ahead, shielding him like a proud mother hen, only to end up being the one who was utterly ridiculed. In my previous life, after Lu Jinan died, I saw the diary he had saved on his phone from long ago. Lin Tang was the ray of light that pierced through my hopeless life. As for Jiang Qianyao, she merely used money to humiliate me when I was at my lowest. I didn't take the workbook, my tone cold and distant as I said, "Lu Jinan, you don't need to come tutor me after school anymore, and I won't use the tutoring fee to hurt your fragile pride either." 5. Hearing my words, Lu Jinan's hand holding the workbook paused slightly, then, the emotion in his eyes faded, and his voice softened. "Come on, don't be like that. We're seniors now. If I don't tutor you, who will? Or is it because of what I said yesterday, about thinking of you as a little sister?" Yes, at 18, Lu Jinan was fully aware of my crush, yet, at the stairwell corner yesterday, he casually told someone else, "Jiang Qianyao, oh, I just see her as the cutest little sister." He raised his hand to ruffle my hair in a placating gesture, his stern features softening with a hint of indulgence. It was so hypocritical it made me sick. I slapped his hand away and said coldly, "Don't touch me." The back of his pale hand was left red from my slap. Lu Jinan's face stiffened. Just then, a commotion erupted in the hallway. The students who had been roughhousing suddenly started running toward the office. I heard someone shout excitedly, "A total bombshell just transferred into our class." I checked the date. It was indeed this day. Outside the office, a dense crowd of classmates craned their necks to peer inside. They stared at Lin Tang standing in the office, with gasps of admiration rising and falling around them. There's no other reason. It's simply because she's genuinely beautiful. She had a slender figure, an oval face, and large, clear eyes. Her slightly wavy hair cascaded softly down her back, evoking a strong desire to protect her. In her past life, she had also used that delicate, pitiable face of hers to break into the entertainment industry, becoming a red-hot starlet. It was that very summer she captured Lu Jinan's heart. Lin Tang and Jiang Qianyao look somewhat alike. Who do you think is prettier? Of course it's Lin Tang. She won a modeling competition, has a great figure, and excellent grades. How could someone like Jiang Qianyao, a useless pretty face, ever compare? There. Chatter rose and fell, and the smile in the highly sought-after Lin Tang's eyes grew increasingly evident. Just then, a clear, cool voice sounded beside me. I think Yao Yao is prettier. I turned my head. Lu Jinan was nonchalant yet utterly certain. He drew astonished looks from everyone, including Lin Tang in the office, who had clearly overheard his remark. Lin Tang shot me a resentful glance, her eyes full of scrutiny and disdain. Then her attention was caught by Lu Jinan, who stood out from the crowd with his exceptional presence. A keen interest flickered in her eyes as she bit her lower lip and said, "This classmate doesn't seem to like me very much." Lu Jinan replied frankly, hands in his pockets, "I just think my childhood sweetheart is the best." I looked up, and in the boy's eyes, I saw only my own reflection, but it was nothing more than an illusion. A sweet smile spread across my face as I said to Lin Tang, "Classmate, he's lying, you're exactly his type, so much so that he'd die for love, abandon everything he's ever worked for." I turned my back on Lu Jinan and walked away without a second glance. I didn't care in the slightest about the stunned, wide-eyed looks of everyone present. 6. In the days that followed, I turned down Lu Jinan's repeated offers to tutor me. Lin Tang openly declared war on me. On the very first day, she boldly confessed to Lu Jinan, "Lu Jinan, I like you." It was love at first sight. She then sent me the same message as in my past life. "Even though I'm new here, I won't go easy on you." I replied indifferently, "Suit yourself." How did I respond in my past life? At 18, Jiang Qianyao was brimming with confidence. "Lu Jinan is mine, and there's no way you can take him from me." The more confident I sounded back then, the more bitterly I cried in the stairwell after Lin Tang won Lu Jinan over. Lin Tang came on strong, creating a delicate atmosphere in the classroom where curious glances kept shifting between the three of us. I paid it no mind. I stopped sleeping in class and started taking diligent notes for every subject. On weekends, I attended one-on-one tutoring sessions, determined to catch up on all the schoolwork I'd fallen behind on. The whispers in class, speculating that I was playing hard to get, gradually faded away. As soon as class ended, I'd sling my backpack over my shoulder and head straight for the library, making a point to avoid Lu Jinan if I saw him along the way. Lu Jinan couldn't take it for long. He grabbed my arm, blocking my path, his expression wounded. "What did I do wrong? Why are you always avoiding me?" The young Lu Jinan wore the same bewildered, frustrated look he would later have during our marital spats, when he'd be scratching his head, utterly clueless about why I was upset. In both versions, he possessed the same soul, one that didn't love me, yet pretended to. I slowly pulled my hand free from Lu Jinan's grasp. My silence took on a different meaning in Lu Jinan's eyes. He let out a sigh and spoke. "What that transfer student said upset you, didn't it? You're not a child anymore. Please don't let what other people say come between us." "Okay, Lu Jinan." His words were cut off as Lin Tang came running from a distance, a light sheen of sweat on the tip of her nose. She looked at Lu Jinan with smiling eyes. "Jinan, why didn't you tell me you were coming to the library? Did you try the cookies I made? Were they any good?" "They're your favorite, cranberry." Lin Tang blurted out a torrent of words, brimming with vibrant, unabashed affection. Lu Jinan frowned slightly, shooting Lin Tang a cold glance. "No, I threw them away," he said with utter indifference. Lin Tang's expression fell, a flicker of hurt crossing her face, but she quickly brightened again. "It's okay," she said, turning the blame on herself. "They must not have looked very appetizing. I'll do better next time." The girl's eyes sparkled, as if her entire world was filled with Lu Jinan. Lu Jinan was taken aback for a moment, then awkwardly turned his head away. I saw a faint blush appear behind his ear. Looking at it now, Lin Tang really is a lot like me, just as passionate, just as willing to spare no expense in her actions. I lowered my gaze and said, "You two take your time, I'll be going now." Lu Jinan instinctively moved to follow, but Lin Tang hooked her arm around his, pleading sweetly, "Jinan, there's a problem I don't understand, can you help me with it?" 7. When the class seats were being reassigned, Lin Tang seized the chance to ask the homeroom teacher if she could sit next to Lu Jinan. The teacher checked with me, and I agreed. Several of my female classmates came over to tell me I was being foolish, saying I'd given Lin Tang the perfect opportunity to swoop in and take my place. My pen kept scribbling away on the page, utterly unconcerned. "It doesn't matter," I said, "if something can be taken from you. It was never truly yours to begin with." Lu Jinan, who was sitting in front of me, heard this. His pen paused, and he was in a foul mood for the rest of the day. After class, Lin Tang, who had been chattering away and pestering Lu Jinan the entire period, sidled up to him again to ask a question. Already in a foul mood, he was thoroughly annoyed. He tossed his pen down with a frown. "Aren't you supposed to be a good student? You need to ask me about something this simple. Lin Tang bit her lower lip in embarrassment. But, it's not like I'm the first person to ask you this kind of question. She glanced at me. Her look full of meaning. I raised an eyebrow and held up my test paper, covered in red check marks, not one to back down. Lin Tang pouted and shot back at me. A rich kid decked out in designer labels probably has some fancy private tutors. Of course you wouldn't need Lu Jinan, stewing in his own anger, grew even icier. He didn't mince words. Get lost. Don't bother me again. Lin Tang never expected Lu Jinan to treat her like that. Her eyes instantly welled up with tears. With a frustrated stomp of her foot, she turned and ran off in a huff. Lu Jinan's face was dark, a storm cloud hanging over him. It was impossible to tell who he was really angry with. Lu Jinan kept his head down, working on the test paper, the scratching sound of his pen against the page filling the quiet. It was a summer break between classes. The classroom was empty, save for the whirring fan above Lu Jinan's head, its blade spinning fast enough to stir his hair. Lu Jinan, I spoke up. Breaking a long silence between us, he seemed utterly taken aback. Lifting his head, a glimmer of hope lit up his eyes, like a puppy that had been abandoned and then picked up again. My lips parted, revealing a smile of ambiguous meaning. Let me tell you a secret. Lin Tang is your future wife. You'd better treat her well, or you'll regret it later. 8. I've rarely seen Lu Jinan this furious. Like a wild beast, mad with pent-up rage, he stood up, crumpling the test paper in his hand into a ball. You don't have to push me away to someone else. I'm not some disposable toy. He got this angry in my past life too. Once, after we were married, I was so upset by him that I blurted out, if you can't stand me, then let's just get a divorce. Back then, Lu Jinan looked exactly like this, his handsome features a mix of anger, disbelief, and a deep, palpable vulnerability. He held me tight, though his frame was tall and broad. I could feel him trembling violently. Don't say things like that. Don't leave me, Yao Yao. At 28, Lu Jinan's voice was shattered, filled with the same helplessness and terror as when he was 16, running to me in the dead of night after learning his family had gone bankrupt overnight. He played the part so perfectly that even after his death, with all the evidence laid out before me, I still refused to believe the truth, that throughout all our years together, he had loved Lin Tang. 9. After that incident, Lu Jinan and I stopped talking completely. I was glad for the peace and quiet provoking me almost became Lin Tang's daily amusement. She kept sending me all sorts of photos of her and Lu Jinan together. For instance, Lu Jinan's long, pale hand covered Lin Tang's, which was a whole size smaller. As they worked on the clay together, the intimacy was palpable. For instance, Lu Jinan made comprehensive notes for Lin Tang in every subject after she transferred to Balin High from No. 1 High and fell behind. They were so meticulous and detailed that they even surpassed the study materials he had prepared for me back then. For instance, Lu Jinan took her to watch the sunrise. Exhausted, he fell asleep, his head resting on her shoulder, his handsome profile glowing as if illuminated by the morning sun. She practically used my public social media photos as a blueprint, meticulously recreating every single thing Lu Jinan and I had ever done together in my past life. Lin Tang had sent me these very photos. I was absolutely furious. I grabbed my phone and stormed over to slap Lin Tang twice across the face. It was all this that made Lu Jinan believe I was deliberately targeting Lin Tang and making a scene for no reason. After graduating, I left my family's spacious villa behind and ended up in a rundown rental with peeling paint. Lu Jinan handled the tech. I hustled for funding. After hitting wall after wall, exhausted, we'd huddled together for warmth. I fiddled with Lu Jinan's fingers and said, once you make it big, let's travel the world together, ski in Switzerland, feed the pigeons in Italy. He gave my nose a playful pinch and promised he'd drop everything to go with me when the time came. But just as the company was thriving, Lu Jinan cashed out his shares at their peak. He moved on, investing in and becoming the CTO of a more promising startup. The money came, but the promises were never mentioned again. Looking at their photos today, I feel nothing inside. I then compiled these photos and posted the album to my social feed. A simple and clear caption, wishing you a lasting 99. I haven't blocked anyone, I have nothing to hide. Soon, my comment section was flooded with a uniform sea of question marks. After a very, very long time, Lu Jinan finally replied with a single word, okay. After that incident, everyone was convinced Lu Jinan and I had a falling out, and I finally had some peace and quiet. When the homeroom teacher heard about this, she was deeply moved. She pulled me into the office, fussing over me with such excitement that she was practically spitting in my face. You've improved so much, It's a relief you're not obsessing over Lu Jinan anymore. You're definitely going to ace the college entrance exam. 10. Lu Jinan gradually began to open his closed-off heart to Lin Tang during a rare, uninterrupted PE class game. Lin Tang was knocked to the ground with a yelp. Lu Jinan immediately rushed over, his eyes filled with worry. He pulled her up roughly, his tone brusque. Are you an idiot? Why aren't you more careful? When she fell asleep at her desk, Lu Jinan would turn and use the open pages of his book to shield her from the slanted rays of sunlight piercing through the blinds without disturbing a soul. Golden sunlight cast patterns of light and shadow in the classroom, a girl sleeping peacefully, and her dutiful night. Finally, Lu Jinan and Lin Tang were together. Curious glances from my classmates kept drifting my way, whether intentional or not, but I paid them no mind, as I was focused on preparing for my final exams. My grades improved by leaps and bounds. Not just because I buckled down, but because I had been hardened by the harsh realities of the adult world. When our homeroom teacher announced with delight that I had cracked the top 30 in our grade, Lu Jinan, who had been lost in his romantic world with Lin Tang, turned and shot me a look of surprise. He finally noticed that my waterfall of waist-length hair had been cut to a short bob just brushing my shoulders, and that the colorful beaded bracelet he gave me for my 15th birthday was gone. 11. After school, he hesitated for a moment and, unusually, didn't leave with Lin Tang. Instead, he called out to me, Yao Yao, where's the bracelet? He pointed at my wrist. My wrist feels bare. Lu Jinan kept Lin Tang's gift for 10 years, yet I wore that bracelet for 13. I threw it away. I tossed it in the trash on the very first day of my rebirth. Lu Jinan took a deep breath and quickly accepted the reality. Lin Tang and I are together now. I know you don't like her, but please try to get along with her. She'll be your sister-in-law one day. I let out a bitter laugh. It took me 5 years of chasing Lu Jinan to finally get what I wanted, yet Lin Tang didn't have to lift a finger. He had already carved out a secure place for her in his future. He didn't notice my distress and just kept talking. I know you're angry, and that you've been keeping your distance because I called you little sister, but... He took a deep breath, his confidence seeming to falter. You can't force feelings. From now on, we'll just be family. Lu Jinan was extending an olive branch, signaling it was time to step down from our standoff and end the Cold War. It's been so long since we've sat down and shared a proper meal together. I murmured in response. A glimmer of hope lit up Lu Jinan's eyes. As if sensing a thaw, he quickly added, your mom's cooking is delicious. Smack. I raised my hand and slapped Lu Jinan across the face, a sharp, resounding crack. Lu Jinan turned his head away, then slowly turned back to look at me. My eyes welled up with tears, and he froze. I said, enunciating every word, Lu Jinan, you are a goddamn bastard. 12. The college entrance exam is right around the corner, and the pressure is getting to me so much I'm practically tearing my hair out. To help us unwind, our homeroom teacher took us on a picnic in the nearby mountains. Our last group outing before the big exam. As luck would have it, I was grouped with Lin Tang. As the crowd thinned out, she moved closer to me. In a low, ominous tone, she said, Jiang Qianyao, I saw Lu Jinan come to find you after school that day. Lin Tang leaned in close to my ear and whispered, so what if you're still hung up on Lu Jinan? He's mine now. I wasn't interested. I couldn't even be bothered to lift an eyelid. Do you know why I transferred to Beilin High School for my senior year? Seeing my complete lack of interest, Lin Tang tried again to bait me into conversation. Because I saw you and Lu Jinan buying textbooks at the bookstore. He had this constant smile in his eyes, and he couldn't stop looking at you. I found it amusing, and frankly, rather irritating. A triumphant, victorious smile spread across her face. You come from a good family, you're beautiful. Surely your love life can't be smooth sailing too. Lin Tang watched with gleeful schadenfreude, a sly glint in her eyes. I knew Lin Tang's family wasn't well off, but I had no idea she'd been harboring such jealousy toward me, or that she possessed such a twisted personality. I finally voiced the question that had been haunting me. Do you really like Lu Jinan? Lin Tang smiled, her eyes and brows brimming with smug satisfaction. It was just a game. He had nothing left, except for your affection for him. Didn't you notice I was mimicking your every move? He fell for it, of course. But that's because he was too stupid to realize he liked you, and you were too naive. Yes, I was naive. I faced the world with sincerity, offering my heart only to end up battered and bruised. 13. Lin Tang had miscalculated. I recorded what she said on my phone and immediately sent it to Lu Jinan. I can't wait to see his reaction. The pride of youth can sometimes outweigh affection. Lu Jinan and Lin Tang had a falling out. Witnesses saw Lu Jinan pin Lin Tang against the wall by her throat, his eyes bloodshot as he snarled a furious question at her. The person I adored was being peeled back. Layer by layer, like an onion, what was revealed, however, was a rotten, festering core. That's a terrible feeling, isn't it? I hope he can understand how I felt back then. 30 days until the college entrance exam. 14. It happened on the day of the third mock exam. Liu Jinan suddenly vanished. All the teachers were frantically searching for him, contacting his parents and checking his home. But he was nowhere to be found. The 2 days of exams came and went, but Liu Jinan never showed up. I walked home, weary and worn out, only to find a man dressed entirely in black standing at my door. My nerves were on edge. I gripped my personal safety alarm tightly. Yao Yao. It was Liu Jinan. He was so gaunt I could barely recognize him, his voice unsteady, laced with a quiet, fragmented despair. He rushed over and threw his arms around me, his whole body trembling violently. That feeling was exactly the same as the Liu Jinan from my past life, he murmured. I had a very long dream, so long it frightened me. I dreamed we were together, and then we got married, because of Lin Tang. I walked away on our wedding anniversary, leaving you alone to face the storm of the world. He spoke slowly, as if describing a drowning nightmare from which one could never wake. I saw your features being corroded and dissolved by sulfuric acid. You collapsed to the ground screaming in agony, and beside you lay my ashes urn, shattered. The people around just stood there, sneering and watching your misery unfold. Not a single one lifted a finger to help. You were always so vain, so afraid of pain. How excruciating it must have been for you when that acid was thrown. His voice was hoarse, almost gone. I dreamed that in the end, you were taken to the hospital, unable to accept your disfigured face. You jumped from a building one spring, when the wounds began to itch. I don't believe it. Tears finally overflowed, spilling from his eyes. None of this is real, right? He stared at me with a sickly intensity, his eyes bloodshot, desperately seeking a denial. I just let out a cold laugh, forcibly swallowing back the surge of grievance and resentment in my heart. It's all true. Liu Jinan staggered back 2 steps in disbelief. He knelt before me, his once unbending spine now bent and broken, as if shattered by a brutal blow. He buried his face in his hands, tears trickling through his fingers as he began to sob. I'm so sorry. He seemed to have lost his mind, rambling incoherently. After I died, my spirit saw that Lin Tang never actually died. She had offended someone back home and faked her death to escape. Jealous of our happy marriage, she deliberately sent me that text saying she was going to kill herself. How could I have been so foolish? We were married for 5 years, so happy. We were planning to have a child next year. His face was contorted with anguish. I'm the one who destroyed all of this. He could no longer distinguish between his past life and the present. Descending into madness, I felt nothing, watching Liu Jinan in such a pathetic state. I only found it laughable. I left Liu Jinan behind, weeping and wallowing in regret, and walked away without a backward glance. 15. Liu Jinan and Lin Tang broke up for good. The college entrance exams arrived swiftly, reducing 3 years of effort to the outcome of a few test papers. My pen never stopped moving, drawing a perfect conclusion to those 3 years. Liu Jinan underperformed, his scores barely scraping into a first-tier university, and he was held up by the teachers as a cautionary tale. Lin Tang's choice, just like in her past life, stunned everyone. She gave up university and chose to go it alone in the entertainment industry. Meanwhile, I, who was least expected to succeed, became the dark horse of the school. My scores were even good enough for University A. When they saw my grades, my parents were over the moon, showering me with praise for being so brilliant. My family threw a huge feast, and all the relatives were beaming as they congratulated me. Meanwhile, Liu Jinan kept texting me, cautiously asking over and over where I planned to apply, wondering if it was University A. I had a feeling he wanted to apply to a university in the same city as me. The acceptance letter arrived. I got into the flagship program at University W, my top choice, which is a full 2,000 kilometers away from the university Liu Jinan got into. Life is too short and too unpredictable. I want to learn so many things. I thought I could finally have some peace. But during my first month at university, I saw Liu Jinan right outside my dorm. He was travel-worn and weary, his face etched with the exhaustion of a long journey. Yao Yao, I've wronged you. He stared at me intently, his eyes filled with a desperate plea. The reason I cared so much about Lin Tang back then was because I felt I had wronged her. I've always carried this guilt, believing it was my offhand comment about her being beautiful and photogenic that set her on the path to stardom. I never imagined she would take her own life. I was utterly consumed by a crushing sense of responsibility, and that's why it's only now that I've come to realize the one I've always loved is you. The reason I've remembered all of this is to make amends to you. I looked at his shattered expression, a despair that was no less profound than what I felt the day I witnessed his suicide attempt. A faint smile touched my lips as I said, I saw what was on your phone, his face instantly drained of color. You told Lin Tang, you've conceded, begging her not to die, and that you're going to divorce me. After all these years together, you were thinking of Lin Tang every single moment. After all the years we've weathered together, you made me witness my husband's corpse on our wedding anniversary, and you call that love. Finally, with utter disgust in my voice, I said flatly, get out, I never want to see you again. My roommate said they saw a man standing motionless in the same spot all night, like a silent statue. 16. I thought Lu Jinan would give up, but to my surprise, he traveled 2,000 miles every single month just to see me. He never disturbed me, just took a distant glance before leaving. Each time he came, Lu Jinan would quietly leave a gift behind. Sometimes it was a rose, sometimes a colorful beaded bracelet, sometimes souvenirs from all over the world. The love and gifts that were meant for my past life finally reached me in this one, but I didn't keep a single one. I threw them all away. The person I am in this lifetime no longer needs these things. It wasn't until the 10th time I received a gift and saw Lu Jinan's desolate figure walking away that I called out to him. A flicker of light sparked in Lu Jinan's eyes, colder than the night itself, only to be completely extinguished by my words. Don't come here anymore. Every time I see you, I have nightmares. What kind of nightmares? It goes without saying. The color drained from his face in an instant, his eyes turning a deep, fathomless black. After a long pause, he replied with a single, desolate word, all right. Lu Jinan kept his promise and never showed up again, yet he still made a point of wishing me a happy birthday every year. Happy birthday, Jiang Qianyao. May every year be filled with peace and joy, until I turned 30. That birthday message would arrive on my phone, right on time, every single year. On the day of my 30th birthday wedding, Lu Jinan, who had been battling depression, jumped from the hospital rooftop. An unfamiliar letter found its way into my hands. It read, I'll repay you for everything, in this life and the last. Another autumn has come, and a single plain tree leaf drifts down into my palm. I whispered, my voice as light as a breeze, goodbye, goodbye forever. Story 2. I traveled back to the day he confessed his love to me. Xia Boyan said, Yinin, be my girlfriend. Let me take care of you. He kept his word. For the next 8 years, he treated me wonderfully. He was my boyfriend for 6 years, then my husband for 2, nearly becoming a father before it all ended tragically. I went into premature labor and died on the operating table along with our child. In my final moments, Xia Boyan clutched my hand with bloodshot eyes. He begged, you can't die, you can't leave me alone. If even you're gone, what am I supposed to do? Part 1. I thought I was dead, but when I opened my eyes, there he was, Xia Boyan, still with that youthful innocence on his face. He said, Yinin, be my girlfriend, let me take care of you. His tone was flat, his expression indifferent, with neither anticipation nor nervousness in his eyes. This didn't feel like a confession, more like he was checking off a task, because he didn't love me. The woman he loves is my sister, and my sister is dying. I'm the only one she can't let go of. So Xia Boyan took me, this burden, upon himself, and carried me for 8 long years. Looking at him now, I suddenly remembered what his friend asked during our wedding. Is this really necessary? Her sister's been gone for 5 years. Are you seriously going to throw away your entire life for this? Xia Boyan took a drag of his cigarette, exhaling slowly through the haze. A promise is a promise, he said, not a single minute less. That was his vow to my sister. Don't worry, I'll take good care of Yinin for the rest of my life. I let out a long sigh. In my past life, I lived exactly as everyone expected me to. Given a second chance, things should be different this time. Boyan, it's really not necessary. I can take care of myself. No need to trouble you. Xia Boyan seemed taken aback by my refusal. His brows knitted tightly as he fixed me with a heavy gaze. Yinin, he was about to say something when I cut him off. Boyan, I'm going to see my sister. Are you coming? Xia Boyan rubbed his thumb against his middle finger, a telltale sign of his nicotine craving. You go ahead, I'll catch up later. 2. I'm 18 now, just starting my final year of high school. The National College entrance exam is less than a year away. In my past life, I missed the Gaokao. My sister passed away 3 months before my college entrance exams. My mother hysterically tore up all my textbooks. Have you no heart? With Juan gone, how can you still focus on studying? Why are you still alive when Juan is already gone? During the college entrance exam days, she locked me inside the house. She said, Juan's greatest regret in life was missing the Gaokao. Since you can't do anything for her now, don't make her grieve from heaven too. Truth be told, I thought she wanted me dead at that time. Not only did she lock me in, but she also deprived me of food and water in the end. Xia Boyan barged in and took me away. To be honest, I wasn't ready to face them again, so I hid in the corner until my mother left my sister's hospital room before going in. Xia Boyan was inside. His face darkened when he saw me. Where have you been? Why are you so late? I ignored him, staring intently at my sister instead. A surge of warmth rose from my chest, reaching all the way to my eyes. 7 years. I've missed her so much. She gave Xia Boyan a light tap and pouted. What's with the attitude? Then she waved at me. Come here, Enin, come here. Big sister's got candy for you. Enin, come over. Let me tell you a story. Come here, Enin, don't be scared. Big sister's got you. Enin, come here. Let me give you a hug. Oh Enin, if I leave, what will become of my precious girl? I hurried over and knelt by her bedside. I reached out and gently wrapped my arms around her slender waist. I buried my face in her lap. Tears finally spilled uncontrollably down my cheeks. I sobbed quietly, as if overwhelmed by some profound injustice. What's wrong, Enin? Who's been mean to you? Don't cry, Enin. Tell me what happened. Don't be scared, Enin. I'm right here with you. 3. My name is Feng Yin. Given by my sister, like lush green grass, it symbolizes vitality. My sister is named Feng Wan, and I exist for her sake. My sister was diagnosed with leukemia at age 6 in our country. Over 1 million blood disease patients await hematopoietic stem cell transplants annually, yet only 0.03% receive treatment each year. Feng Wan wasn't among them. As a last resort, doctors suggested the parents conceive another child to use the newborn's cord blood for bone marrow matching. The doctor said, the matching success rate is very high, while the doctor said very high. To the parents it sounded like absolute certainty. They made this choice without hesitation. After 10 months of pregnancy and the pains of childbirth, the one who came into this world was me. Everyone was waiting with bated breath, hearts pounding with anticipation, but the matching failed, making the transplant surgery impossible. A useless child was born. The child born for Feng Wan was worthless. In utter despair, the mother suffered a hemorrhage. Her body was severely damaged and could no longer bear children. Fortunately, a successful stem cell match for Feng Wan was found in the cord blood bank. 6 months later, Feng Wan was saved. What a relief! Otherwise, her mother would have died. She once said, if Wan dies, I won't be able to go on living. As for me, just a worthless piece of trash. 18 years ago, my umbilical cord blood was a failed match. 18 years later, my kidney proved incompatible yet again. Uremia. Feng Wan is dying, for her sister kicked Xia Boyan out. She gently pried me from her embrace, dabbing my tears away. She whispered, is this about Boyan? He told me he confessed his feelings, but you turned him down. Enin, don't you want Boyan to take care of you? You know Boyan would treat you right. Of course I know. In this world, when danger strikes, Xia Boyan is the only one who'd shield me without hesitation. He's been picking me up from school since elementary, rain or shine. Even if he was late or skipping class himself, he'd never leave me behind. He'd throw punches for me. He'd tell everyone, she's my sister, nobody touches her. When I fell, he carried me on his back. When I got sick, he took care of me. I was hungry, so he cooked for me. He even explained menstruation to me when I had my first period. Once when he was drunk, he poked my forehead and grumbled, damn, I got myself a kid without even trying. He said, Feng Yin, I raised you with my own hands. Xia Boyan raised me. I know his kindness wasn't just because of Feng Wan's request. He genuinely treats me like a little sister. Boyan is family. Sis, I love having him as my big brother. My sister gave me a complicated look. Enin, I can't take care of you forever. Only your life partner can do that. I averted my gaze and lowered my head. But, he's my brother. After a long silence, my sister sighed. Ah, I was being too hasty. Never mind, you two can take your time. He'll always take good care of you. I murmured a vague acknowledgement. Sis, can I come see you every day? Her eyes lit up briefly before dimming again. Don't trouble yourself, just focus on your studies. My parents didn't want me appearing in front of my sister too often. Mother said, what are you going there for? To upset Wan? Do you think seeing you healthy and active would make her happy? My sister said she was happy and wanted to see me, but our parents wouldn't believe it. They stubbornly insisted that every time my sister stood up for me, she was actually sacrificing her own happiness. They wouldn't tolerate Feng Wan suffering any injustice because of Feng Yin. Oh dear, these grades of yours. She poked my forehead. Little one, do you even stand a chance at college? My grades aren't great. To be honest, they're pretty bad. At least on the surface. I hunched my shoulders and asked with a grin, sis, which college do you want me to go to? She blurted out without thinking, the best one, of course. Realizing what she'd said, she quickly backtracked, just do your best, no pressure. We'll go with whatever school you can get into. Mid-conversation, the hospital room door suddenly swung open behind us. Awan, that voice, both familiar and foreign, came rushing in. Familiar because it was Mother's voice. It felt unfamiliar because I hadn't heard it in 6 years. Mother kept her promise. She couldn't live without Feng Wan. She held on for a year before ending her life with pesticide. I was completely at a loss when I heard the news. I didn't know how to process this emotionally. Perhaps she was only ever Feng Wan's mother. Nothing more. She walked right past me as if I were invisible. She hurried over to adjust the hospital bed's height, lowering her voice gently. She said, "Why are you sitting up? Lie down and rest. Aren't you tired?" Her sister sighed helplessly. "Mom, I'm fine. Didn't you go home to cook? Why are you back so soon?" Her mother replied, "Your father called and said he'd bring it over." "Is Dad back from his business trip?" "Yeah. He said he brought you a present." "That's great. Enin happens to be here too. Our whole family." Mom cut her off. She said quietly, "Boyan, thank you for visiting Awan, but she needs rest now. You should head back first." Not once did her gaze meet mine the entire time. I thought I'd grown accustomed to it. Yet this time, the air felt suffocating. I stood frozen in place until a large hand enveloped my clenched fist. "It's Sia Boyan," he said. "Auntie, I'm taking Enin home." I've known since childhood that my parents didn't like me, even before realizing my parents didn't like me. I knew my grandparents didn't either, perhaps because I'd never been loved since childhood. I returned to them without any expectations. My mother had many demands for me, like not being allowed to wear pretty or colorful clothes, for instance. No snacks are allowed besides staple food, like never being permitted to smile, such as being forbidden to excel in studies. As sisters born of the same mother, while Feng Wan suffers in sickness, Feng Yin mustn't thrive, lest it deepen Feng Wan's sorrow. "What's wrong with you today?" Sia Boyan studied me intently. I shook my head. "Brother Boyan, can I move in with you?" Ever since Sia Boyan graduated and started working, he'd been renting his own place. He did offer to let me stay with him before, but I turned him down. I can just imagine what they'd say if I moved out, but this time, no matter what they say, I have to move out. Sia Boyan froze for a moment. He asked in a low voice, "Feng Yin, what exactly happened? Who's been giving you trouble?" I shook my head impressed. "Is that not allowed?" Sia Boyan remained silent for a long moment before finally sighing. He nudged me forward. "Come on, let's go move your things." Though we called it moving, I didn't have much. Just some books and a few changes of clothes. Sia Boyan's brow remained furrowed from the moment we started packing. When we finally left, he snapped impatiently, "Let's go to the mall." This time I didn't refuse. "Thanks, Boyan." His expression softened at last. "Come on, let's get our Enin some pretty clothes." Sia Boyan was in high spirits. He took me clothes shopping, treated me to Korean barbecue, then stocked me up with snacks and daily necessities at the supermarket. It's been so long since I last felt this comfortable around him in our past life. He confessed his feelings and I said yes, but after that, things were never the same between us. The shift in our relationship left us awkward and unsure how to act, dragging through an uncomfortable stretch of time. So after all, he was meant to be my brother. 6. The next day, I went to the hospital wearing the dress Sia Boyan bought for me. My sister looked at me in astonishment, her eyes holding an expression I'd never seen before. "Beautiful. Our Enin looks absolutely stunning. Sia Boyan bought this for you. The man's got taste." My sister held my hand as she carefully retrieved a box of chocolates from beneath the pillow. "Just like in my past life. Enin, try this. People say it's the best chocolate. I never got to taste it last time. My parents' teachings made me never dare to eat anything in front of my sister, so in my past life, I brought it home. My mother found out. She slapped me through tears. "Feng Yin, is this food worth dying for? Making Alwan lie to Dad for your snacks? Do you realize this box of chocolate costs as much as Alwan's dialysis treatment?" Thinking back on those days, I don't feel particularly emotional. I unwrapped a piece of chocolate and popped it into my mouth, sweet with a hint of bitterness, rich and smooth. I nodded with a smile. "Delicious." My sister's eyes crinkled with amusement. "Leave it with Boyan, and ask him whenever you want some." "I'd rather leave it with you," I said. "But, sis, I want to drop out of school." My sister stared at me in shock. "What did you say? Did something happen at school?" I shook my head. "I want to stay at the hospital with you. Then you can come after school." Not enough. My sister seemed to have an idea. She looked at me sadly. "Enin, you need to follow your own path, study hard, get into college, and leave this household." With a strained smile, she added, "Mom and Dad will take care of me here. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine." I insisted. "I'm only taking half a year off. I'll study on my own and take the college entrance exam." Smiling, I said, "I'll come back as the top scorer for you." "Okay." My sister wasn't smiling, her expression was grave. Eneen, what's really going on with you? You're making me so worried. These past 2 days, all I've been hearing is what's wrong with you. I lowered my eyes. I just don't think I'm wrong. I want to be with you, to see you every day, to take care of you. My sister fell silent. After a long pause, she took my hand and said firmly, all right, we'll be together every day. 7. Mom arrived sooner than we expected. Her already sour expression darkened further when she saw what I was wearing, but she forced a smile and told my sister, Awan, go rest first. I need to talk to Fang Yin. My sister held on tight. What's wrong? What happened? It's fine, don't worry. She turned to me. Fang Yin, come with me. Mom, Yin isn't going anywhere. Whatever you have to say it here. Wan, be good. Her tone sharpened. Fang Yin, come with me. Must you disturb your sister's rest? My sister started to speak again, but I gave her hand a gentle squeeze. What did you want to talk about? I asked. Is it about me moving out, visiting my sister, or wearing new clothes? Fang Yin, mother hissed, shacking up with a man at such a young age. Have you no shame? Mom, how could you say that? It's Boyan. He's like a real brother to Eneen, a real brother. Mother sneered. Are you blood related? We're not blood related, I said, but I'll be staying there for a while. I've already filed for a leave of absence from school, starting today. I'll be coming to the hospital daily to take care of my sister. I won't allow this. Mother's voice suddenly sharpened. You move back home this instant and focus on your studies. Juan is still ill. What kind of nonsense are you pulling? Looking at her, I said calmly, I'm not asking for your permission, I'm informing you. Fang Yin, what exactly are you trying to do? Enough. My sister's frail voice cut through sharply, her face deathly pale as she swayed unsteadily. Juan, what's wrong? Mother asked with visible concern, her hands trembling slightly as she looked helplessly at my sister. Mom, I don't have much time left. Please let Eneen stay with me, just this once, won't you? Mother's eyes welled up. Fang Wan, what nonsense are you saying? Not much time. What are you trying to do? Stab your own mother through the heart? Mom, please promise me this one thing. Okay, I promise, sweetheart. I'll promise you anything. Just don't say such things. I can't bear it. I just can't. After all the commotion, my sister soon fell asleep. Mother gently stroked her forehead before tucking in the blanket corners. She turned her head and glared at me coldly. Fang Yin, you're getting back at me, aren't you? What? I froze, never expecting her to say something like that. You're using Alwan to hurt me. Seeing her suffer makes me suffer. Does that make you happy? I suddenly burst out laughing. In my past life, the therapist asked me, do you resent your parents? I shook my head and said no. She asked me why. I said, I understand. To them, my sister was their real child. I was just born to prolong her life. But things didn't go as planned, and I let them down. Nobody's perfect. When extreme hope meets crushing despair, that kind of naturally leads to irrational actions. Everything they did to me afterward was just their deluded way of believing it would help my sister. They never realized it was wrong. I even enthusiastically explained to her, this pattern is actually quite common. Like when parents physically punish their kids, once they start, it never stops, and the beatings only get worse. Do you know why? Because in parent-child dynamics, parents hold absolute power. There's no consequence for how they treat their children, no downside, just results. Why wouldn't they keep doing it? Absolute power means absolute tyranny. They never even knew they were wrong. Back then, the therapist's gaze held nothing but heartache when she looked at me later. I overheard her telling Xia Boyan over the phone that I'd chosen emotional detachment under extreme suffering. I didn't agree with that, but looking back now, perhaps I was the one who got it wrong. She accused me of retaliating against her, so she knew her actions would breed resentment in me. It suddenly dawned on me, since we're both reasonable people, we can talk this through rationally, I said. A healthy adult male typically ejaculates 2 to 6 milliliters of semen, containing over 60 million sperm per milliliter. That means each ejaculation releases 120 to 360 million sperm, with over 60% being motile. Approximately 72 to 216 million. Taking the median, that's about 150 million viable sperm. A healthy adult female typically releases 1 egg per cycle, occasionally 2 or 3, taking the average, let's say 2 eggs. Under these circumstances, the probability of any single sperm fertilizing an egg is about 1 in 75 million. What nonsense are you spouting? My mother interrupted. I continued, of course, that's an ideal scenario. What I'm trying to say is, if I had been conceived even a day earlier or later, a minute earlier or later, or if it had been a different sperm and a different egg that combined, I simply wouldn't be me. being born to you wasn't my choice, my genetic makeup was given to me by you. It was the result of your sperm and egg combining against 1,000,000 to 1 odds. I am innocent. The blame does not fall on me. 8. My sister's leukemia relapsed when I was 8. She was rushed into the emergency room, and my mother knelt, praying. I just huddled. Trembling, in a corner, my father held my mother close as she sobbed uncontrollably. Why was it her? If only it had been any other child, A1 wouldn't have suffered like this. Why her? Why did it have to be her? She's just God's way of tormenting us, isn't she? Why does everyone else's cord blood work, but hers doesn't? Why did I have to give birth to her? That was the first time I had ever faced my mother's hatred so directly. Even though I was used to their coldness, I still felt a pang of sadness at that moment. Then Siaboyan arrived. He covered my ears and pulled me into his embrace. His warm hug melted the chill that had settled in my bones. He whispered, "Ineen, don't listen. I'm here with you." 9. My defiance seemed to have deeply shaken my mother. Eventually we reached a compromise. I'd visit my sister daily, but at different times than her. She agreed. None of us want to see our sister caught in the middle of our conflict. As for me and them, some differences are simply irreconcilable. After leaving the hospital, I went back to my rented apartment. Siaboyan hadn't returned yet, so I took some vegetables from the fridge and started cooking dinner. Just as the final dish was ready, the front door swung open from outside. "Boyan, dinner's ready," Siaboyan asked casually while changing his shoes. "Take out, I cooked it myself." Siaboyan was incredulous. "You can cook? How come I never knew that?" Of course, he wouldn't know. After all, it's a skill I picked up in my previous life. I mumbled vaguely. "I've always been able to." "Alright, let's eat." Siaboyan gently ruffled my hair, a look of tender concern on his face, as if something had just occurred to him. "Alright, let's eat. From now on, if you feel like cooking, go for it. If not, we can always eat out. Got it? Make sure to cook more of what you love. You're a fan of spicy food, aren't you?" "There's not a single spicy dish on this table." I swallowed my food and declared, "Health." Siaboyan chuckled wryly. "How rare to hear those words from you." I smiled without responding. He sighed. "Good then, you need to put on some weight. You're too thin." My life settled into a routine like this every morning. I'd get up and go for a run, then bring Siaboyan some breakfast. As for my own, I'd just make it at home. One time, Siaboyan curiously took a bite of mine. His face was a mix of emotions. "Tasty," I replied. "Healthy." He shook his head. "I'll never understand what goes through kids' minds these days." After breakfast, I dove straight into practice problems, heading to the hospital in an hour and a half, staying until 12:30 p.m. That's the time slot they've given me. I often bring a book to read to my sister, then take her for a stroll in the garden downstairs. Sometimes I run into familiar doctors, nurses, or other patients. They asked who I was. My sister said, "This is my little sister." "Your sister's so pretty." My sister nodded proudly. "Damn right, I'd leave before Mom brings lunch for my sister at noon." My sister always gets visibly down whenever this happens. She wishes I could get along with our parents harmoniously, but after years of trying, she's come to accept it's beyond her power. I could only comfort her. "I'm not sad at all. Getting to see you every day makes me genuinely happy." I truly mean it. There's not a trace of sadness in me. I cook my own meals now, all my favorite dishes. I eat until I'm full and even take afternoon naps. I said, "See, I've even put on weight." My sister pinched my cheeks and said, "You put on some weight and got color in your face now. Looking good." While my sister delighted in my improving health, Siaboyan's expression grew graver by the day. That evening, slightly tipsy from drinking, he stood alone on the balcony smoking. I spotted him when I came out for my bedtime milk. "Boyan, get some rest early. I'm heading in first. Stay right there." He stubbed out his cigarette and waved away the lingering smoke from his clothes. As he walked in, he gave me a scrutinizing look. After a long pause, he said, "Ineen, level with me. What exactly are you trying to do?" His tone made me feel like some villain about to unleash a big move. I asked innocently, "What did I do?" He impatiently tsked, then raised a hand and pushed my forehead. "I raised you myself. I know you better than your own sister. Don't even think about lying to me." I sighed helplessly. "What's wrong with me working out daily, studying hard, and eating properly?" He frowned. "Excellent. These are all things I've always wanted you to achieve, but seeing you accomplish them all so suddenly, it worries me. Ineen, I'm really worried about you." He was definitely drunk. Otherwise, someone as reserved as him would never say such things when sober. I sighed. "Bro, I'm fine, really. Things couldn't be better right now. I'm happy, genuinely happy every single day." Siaboyan suddenly pulled me into a hug, patting my back just like when we were kids. He said, "Ineen, no matter what happens, tell me immediately." "Okay, got it. 10. The heavens must be the cruelest existence in this world. Just when you think life will continue happily ever after, reality always strikes without warning, shattering that beautiful illusion. My sister was rushed into the emergency room once again. We were just discussing how to knit a scarf when she suddenly collapsed. Mother slapped me across the face when she arrived. She glared at me, demanding, "Fangin, what did you do to Awan?" She cursed. "If anything happens to Awan, I'll make you pay." Her movements were so swift that Xiaoboyan only had time to pull me behind him. He advanced menacingly. I grabbed his arm and shook my head at him with a grim expression. He brushed his fingers against my cheek. "Does it hurt?" I hissed in pain. It really stung. My mother kept cursing, saying my sister was getting sicker and sicker while I was thriving, asking if I was doing it on purpose. She said I was just getting back at them. She asked why Awan had to suffer instead of me. Her state was clearly off. Xiaoboyan gave her a fleeting glance and pulled me aside. There was no point in arguing with someone so quick to anger. My father held my mother, not sparing me a glance or a word. While my mother still harbored anger and resentment towards me, my father was far more indifferent. To him, I seemed to be nothing but air. The last time I saw him in my previous life was at the hospital. Alcohol poisoning. He wasn't surprised at all to see me. He said, "If anyone calls you about me again, just ignore it. I didn't raise you when you were young, and I don't need you to take care of me in my old age." He remained perfectly lucid, lucidly ignoring me. Xiaoboyan bought a bottle of ice water for me to put on my face. He comforted me. "It's going to be okay." I nodded, smiling and playing along with him. "Right. Nothing bad will happen. Nothing's going to happen. I know that better than anyone." "Not now." Xiaoboyan took my hand, prying open my tightly clenched fist. My nails had dug deep into my palm, drawing blood. He said, "Don't force a smile if you don't feel like it. It looks awful." It was as if someone had pricked the balloon of my forced composure. I let out fragmented sobs. "I'm scared even knowing it's not happening now. I'm still terrified." My sister was successfully resuscitated. She was placed in the ICU, and it took a full 2 weeks before she was transferred to a regular ward. During that time, I was denied visitation rights. My father said, "Don't come, if you can't help. Don't make her condition worse." I accepted that. My sister is still unconscious, and there's really nothing I can do to help. There's no need to create unnecessary trouble just to ease my own conscience. She'll be alright, and I've got more important matters to attend to. I'll commit to regular workouts, dedicated studying, and maintaining a healthy diet. Xiaoboyan grew increasingly withdrawn. The smell of tobacco clung heavier to him, the shadows beneath his eyes deepening. I knew he couldn't sleep. He would always get up in the middle of the night to drink himself numb. Just like in his past life, a sense of suffocation gripped everyone. Thankfully, after the storm, the sun came out, and my sister woke up. 11. "You were scared, weren't you?" my sister asked softly, stroking my hair. I leaned against her bed and shook my head. "No, I knew you'd be alright. You've lost weight again," my sister said. "Here, have some candy." My sister opened her palm to reveal a fruit drop, her eyes crinkling with a smile. "Dr. Jiang came by for rounds earlier. I asked him for this." My nose tingled with emotion. It was always like this when we were kids. Though she couldn't eat sweets herself, she'd always find ways to coax candy from doctors or nurses, stashing it away just to sneak it to me during visits. "I'm a big kid now," I said, but still took the candy. My sister chuckled. "No matter how old you get, you'll always be my baby." "Did Mom give you a hard time?" she asked. I shook my head. "No, don't worry. She didn't believe a word of it." "Don't hate her. My illness has driven her to the brink of madness. She's not just making things difficult for you, she's making them difficult for everyone, including herself." "I know. It's like she forbids me from eating meat or gaining weight. She wants me to be thin and sickly, as if that's the only way to be worthy of my sister. But the truth is, she treats herself the same way. She absolutely won't touch anything my sister can't eat, and when my sister is on a liquid diet, she barely drinks anything herself. She's like an ascetic." In her words, "Awan is suffering. We can't take her place, but can't we at least be there for her?" My sister fell ill while I was with her, and she would hit me. My sister fell ill while she was with her, and she would hit herself too. She treated everyone unfairly, except for her sister. "I know. Don't worry." Just then, Xiaoboyan arrived. He bought his sister's favorite spider plant. Compared to colorful flowers, his sister preferred lush greenery. My sister looked at him, amused. "How did you get even thinner than Enin?" I seized the opportunity to tattle. "He doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep." Xiaoboyan shot me a glare. Am I a god or something? My sister, however, looked conflicted. She opened her mouth, then turned to me. "Enin, why don't you go play for a bit? I need to talk to your brother Boyan." I nodded and walked out. I knew what they were going to say. His sister must have been comforting him, telling him not to feel guilty or blame himself. I used to think the emotion tormenting him was longing. It was only later that I realized he seemed to have lived a more desperate life during those years. 12. As the weather gradually turned colder, my sister's health was also slowly recovering, yet our parents' spirits were sinking lower and lower. I've seen them argue with doctors more than once, demanding to know when a suitable kidney source could be found. I've also seen them plead with doctors countless times, begging him to save their daughter. Oddly, my sister seemed to find peace. The scarf I'm knitting for her is almost finished. She was thrilled. It'll be perfect for when the weather gets cold. I suddenly blurted out, "Sis, let's go on a trip when spring arrives and everything's in bloom." A trip? Excitement flashed in my sister's eyes. Where to? Where do you want to go? She thought for a moment, then shook her head. I don't know what's good about it. It just seems like everything is good, Xiaoboyan said. Yunnan, is it beautiful there? It must be, he said, pulling out his phone. Let me check. My sister burst out laughing. Are you serious? Count me out. But you can take Yinin, just send me pictures later. Let's go together. I grabbed her hand. Her smile faded. Mom and Dad won't agree, I said. Then I'll elope with you. My sister gave me a look that said it all. Nonsense. She turned to Xiaoboyan. Aren't you going to do something about her? Xiaoboyan looked up. I'm on lookout. We all burst into laughter. The good news arrived on a Thursday, a beautiful day with bright sunshine and a gentle breeze. I was in the middle of solving practice problems when my sister called, choking back tears. She said, Yinin, they found a kidney. After the surgery, let's go to Yunnan. Okay. I smiled and said, okay. The timing of this kidney donation couldn't be better. My sister's body is strong enough to handle the surgery, and her condition hasn't deteriorated to the worst-case scenario. Everything happens for a reason. My sister is so happy. She's excitedly talking about all the things she'll do after the surgery. Just like a little kid, her parents watched her with indulgent eyes. For the first time, my presence didn't provoke their harsh words. Xiaoboyan stood at the back, silent as ever. When my sister finally fell asleep, he took my hand and we left the hospital. He didn't say a word the whole way back. Once we were home, he confronted me. Feng Yin, whose kidney is that? The one for A1. I sighed helplessly. How should I know? Didn't the doctors say the donor's identity is confidential? He stared at me, his gaze heavy. How did you know? I let out a sigh. I knew I couldn't keep it from him. Know what? That my kidney actually matched my sister's. It really was you. Xiaoboyan seemed to lose all his strength in an instant. He slumped onto the sofa. Yeah. If you hadn't known beforehand, you definitely would have cried, but today, you've been smiling from beginning to end, as if everything was within your expectations. So all your workouts and healthy eating were just pre-op preparations. Is that it? How could I have missed this? Xiaoboyan let out a mocking laugh. You've really grown up, making such a huge decision without consulting anyone. Feng Yin, you're truly something else, but I won't allow it, and neither will Awan. Then don't tell her. She never needed to know in the first place. Xiaoboyan looked at me. Feng Yin, do you realize what you're doing? I knew exactly what I was doing, and I could see the fear in Xiaoboyan's eyes. Just like in our past life. Back then, I was already 8 months pregnant. I miss my sister so much. When I saw that old laptop in the storage room, and used for years, I just had to try it. I wanted to see if there were any clues about my sister hidden inside. I went through every folder, from the C drive to the D drive, and finally, I actually found something. It looked like it contained some images that Xiaoboyan had cached from his chats with my sister. There are scenic views, expressive faces, and my sister, with an oxygen tube on her nose. She smiled happily and flashed a peace sign at the camera. The report confirming a successful kidney match was also stored there. It happened so fast, I didn't even realize it. It wasn't until I flipped back 3 or 4 pages that I froze. I quickly scrolled back. I remember that report. I recall the results on that report I saw were inconsistent. It's clearly a mismatch. Why does this one above show as a match? What are you looking at? I've been calling you for ages. Why didn't you answer? Xiaoboyan walked in. He saw what I saw. I looked at him helplessly, hoping for an answer. His face, filled with terror, was the only answer I needed. So it was true. Why did you lie to me? I could have saved my sister in the ambulance. I kept whispering to him, why on earth? And that's what I want to ask him now. Why did you and my sister lie to me? I knelt before Xiaoboyan. He looked at me, then reached out and tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear. He said, Awan's body was already at its breaking point. A kidney transplant wouldn't have fixed it. Even if you had given her your kidney, it would have been a drop in the ocean. Her entire body was failing. But this is your kidney. It's about your whole life. Your long life ahead, using one of your kidneys to keep her alive for a year or so. We don't think it's worth it. so that's how it is. The knot in my stomach finally loosened. If one of my kidneys could give my sister another 6 months, it would be worth it. If it gave her another year, I'd consider it a bargain. If it gave her 2 more years, I'd be smiling in my sleep. What about you? What will you do? Your health isn't great to begin with. What if something goes wrong during or after the surgery? I'll be fine. My body can handle it. This isn't some shady back alley clinic. If I wasn't fit for surgery, they wouldn't even agree to do it. Starting over, I immediately sought out Dr. Jiang. At first, he denied it, then I threatened to report him. He sighed helplessly. You two sisters really are cut from the same cloth. What happened after that? Xia Boyan asked. Early to bed, early to rise, watch what you eat, live a healthy life. How great is that? But what if something goes wrong? That's A1 we're talking about, isn't A1 worth taking that chance? They all think sacrificing one of my kidneys for a year and a half of my sister's life isn't worth it, but that's not how you measure these things. She's my sister, the one who cherished me like gold. If I could have just one more day with her, what wouldn't I give? Xia Boyan was finally convinced by me. I understood. He truly didn't know how to choose. It seemed like every option was wrong. That's why he was so filled with self-blame and guilt after my sister passed away. 13 Tuesday, a light drizzle. The day my sister was scheduled for her kidney transplant. I couldn't go in with her. All I could do was wait for her outside the operating room through the privacy curtain. I heard my sister's voice. She asked, Dr. Jiang, how long will the surgery take? Dr. Jiang replied, for hours at most. It'll be over before you know it. Just get some sleep. There's nothing to be afraid of. She chuckled. I'm not scared. I'm actually quite happy. What are your plans after the surgery? Dr. Jiang inquired. My sister said, we're going to Yunnan for a trip. I promised my younger sister. I closed my eyes contentedly, happy that this life was better than the last. I had a very long dream. I dreamt of the first time I met my sister. I was 4 years old then. My life was dull, seemingly devoid of color. Before I met her, until she handed me a pack of candies. They came in colorful wrappers, different flavors, sweet and delightful. A sweetness that spread from my mouth all the way to my heart. She said, Eneen, have some candy. Your big sister will always get you more. I held my sister's hand as we walked forward, but she kept flickering in and out of sight. When I couldn't find her, I obediently stayed put, waiting for her to come back for me. Later, she brought me to a young man's side. She said to me, Eneen, this is Brother Boyan. From now on, he'll take care of you and protect you in my place. All right. No, I only want my sister, but no one ever taught me how to say no. I was scared of that brother. He never spoke and never smiled until one stormy night, I clutched his sleeve in fear. He suddenly crouched down and said to me, hop on, I'll carry you. He carried me on his back, and I held the umbrella, trying my best to keep him from getting wet, but in the end, my own back was soaked through. Seeing this, he looked helpless. As he put his jacket on me, he said, Eneen, you need to learn to protect yourself. You are the most important person. I'm the most important. That was the first time anyone had ever said something like that to me. Eneen, someone was calling my name. It was the person who would call me to go to school, pick me up afterwards, and take me home. I desperately tried to open my eyes. Thank you, Bo Yen. I opened my mouth, wanting to ask him something, but no sound came out. He reassured me. Alwan is doing very well. The surgery was a success. She's still unconscious, but don't worry, get some good rest. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. It took a long time, but I finally found my voice again. When will big sister wake up? Xia Boyan glared at me. Don't even think about it. I felt helpless. She went into surgery without me, and if she wakes up and still doesn't see me, she'll overthink things. Xia Boyan frowned. Don't worry, they'll handle it. When A1 went into surgery, she asked where you were, and they told her they were the ones who kept you from coming. They should know by now. Whether they know or not is irrelevant. No one is doing anything for their sake, but what truly bothered Xia Boyan was that, from beginning to end, they didn't even spare a glance for Eneen. I let out an "oh" and felt relieved. No matter what they do, they'd never intentionally hurt my sister. As for their attitude towards me, I couldn't care less. I saw my sister again a week later. Within a week, I was already up and walking, but she was still confined to her hospital bed. Yet, her complexion had significantly improved, and her eyes sparkled with an undeniable joy. She was very happy. Eneen, come here, she said. Mom promised me that as long as I recover well, she'll let us travel. Eneen, we can finally go to Yunnan. Yes, we can finally go to Yunnan. She had been bedridden all winter. When spring arrived and the flowers bloomed, she wore the scarf I knitted for her. Xia Boyan handled our luggage, and we set off on our journey to Yunnan. 14. Epilogue. A1 story. Everyone was filled with anticipation when my sister was born. They were all waiting for the umbilical cord blood matching results. Only Awan was looking forward to her sister. Awan was the first to rush to her baby sister's side. The little one was tiny and a bit homely, but Awan adored her. As she reached out to touch the newborn, tiny fingers suddenly grasped hers, so soft and warm. Awan smiled happily. Little sister was sent away. Awan asked Mom, "Where did little sister go?" Mom said, "No one could take care of her, so we sent her to stay with grandparents. Wan is such a sensible girl. She knows her condition requires constant care, and Dad needs to work. Grandma and Grandpa will surely take good care of little sister. After all, she's absolutely adorable." But when we returned to Grandma and Grandpa's for New Year, my little sister was filthy and smelled awful. She crawled on the floor in threadbare clothes, with no one looking after her. Awan was heartbroken. She tearfully begged Mom to take her little sister home, but Mom said, "She's fine, don't worry, all kids go through this phase." Helplessness. 7-year-old Awan felt that crushing sense of helplessness. There was nothing she could do. Even crying and tantrums proved futile. She couldn't understand why her mother showed no compassion for her own child. Later, her condition worsened. Endless cycles of chemotherapy and medication left her writhing in pain on the bed. Gazing at the lush green grass outside, she said, "Mom, can we name little sister Eneen?" Awan kept pleading to bring her sister home. Little sister needs to attend kindergarten and stay with her own parents. Awan had so much to say. Mom just said one thing, "She's fine, don't worry." Awan didn't know what to do. She decided to ask Siaboyan. Everyone knew how brilliant Siaboyan was. He aced every exam. He must have a way. Later he said, "She must prove her worth to return. It's not about what she needs, but what use she has. Otherwise, she's just dead weight, and dead weight gets discarded." That was the first time Awan confronted her parents' indifference. Siaboyan was absolutely right, but Awan was heartbroken. Mom and Dad don't love little sister. She didn't want to accept it, but she had to. When she got home, she said to her mom, "I'm so lonely. Mom, please bring sister back. She can play with me and help me with chores." Awan thought that even if her parents didn't like Eneen, she could still take good care of her, but her health was too poor that time. She was hospitalized with acute enteritis, suffering from severe vomiting and diarrhea. Her parents spent the whole night with her at the hospital, and no one remembered Eneen. For anti-counterfeiting of Xiaohubot files, choose Xiaohubot for reliable and stable service. You won't regret it. By the time they got home, Eneen had already collapsed unconscious outside the door. Cold, hungry, dark, and terrified, she shivered and huddled in a corner all night. No one came for her, so Awan handed Eneen over to Siaboyan. She hoped Siaboyan would cherish her precious little one. For Awan, simply being alive was quite a painful ordeal. Even as a child, she felt that perhaps death would be a release, but then came Inging. She always wondered, if she died, what would happen to her precious baby. Fortunately, Siaboyan kept his promise. He stood firmly by Inging's side, even when the other side of the scale was Feng Wan herself. She was secretly relieved that Yin Yin's cord blood wasn't a match for her. If her survival meant preying on Yin Yin's very essence, she'd rather die sooner than later. There was no way she'd let Eneen sacrifice a kidney just to buy her another year or so. Yet, Awan still clung to the desire to live. Eneen said she'd help her win a championship. Eneen wants to travel with her. She wants to send Eneen to college. If Eneen is all alone with no one to support her, what if others bully her? Luckily, heaven took pity on her. She accomplished all those things. Siaboyan took Eneen and her to Yunnan. What a beautiful place that was. They cycled around Arai Lake, visited Shizhou ancient town, and saw a riot of colors at Rainbow Farm. It was her first time sharing a bed with Eneen. Eneen snuggled beside her, tugging at her clothes, and she was so happy she could have laughed in her sleep. Those 10 days were worth a lifetime to her. Eneen is incredibly capable. She said she'd ace the top exam for A1, and she actually did. She chose the best university, and A1 was the one who took her there. A1 was a bit worried. She wasn't pretty, she was bony and sickly. She was afraid of embarrassing Eneen. Yet, Eneen introduced her to her roommates without any hesitation. Awan breathed a sigh of relief. She shared the snacks she had bought with everyone, hoping they would be kind to Eneen. She wasn't good with words, so all she could tell them was, "Our Eneen is quiet and introverted. Please look out for her." What other regrets did Awan have? Not being able to stay with Eneen for long, not being able to see her get married and have children, and her parents. She didn't know what to do about them. She had considered mending the relationship between Eneen and her parents, but that wouldn't be fair to Eneen. If she were to leave a last wish for her parents, besides hoping they live long and well, it would be for them not to bother Eneen. They didn't raise Eneen when she was young, so they shouldn't expect her to support them in their old age. 15. Side story, Siaboyan's chapter. Though Siaboyan carried the Xia surname, He wasn't the Sia's biological child, he was adopted by the Sia family from an orphanage. As an orphanage kid, he knew his place in the world: be obedient, sensible, and don't make a fuss. Don't wish for things that aren't meant for you. In the beginning, for the first year, the Sia family parents treated him so well that he almost lost himself. Later, when the Sia family parents had their own biological child, their relationship with him became purely a matter of obligation. Sia Boyan was very grateful that he had stayed true to himself. It would be even more painful to gain something only to lose it again. So when he first saw Feng Wan, he felt a twinge of envy. Feng Wan was truly blessed. She had the most loving parents in the world. His first interaction with Feng Wan happened when she approached him. Feng Wan offered him a candy. "I'm sick and can't eat this. Could you taste it for me and tell me what it's like?" Sia Boyan hesitated for a long time, but finally took it under Feng Wan's eager gaze. Feng Wan excitedly asked him, "Is it sweet?" Sia Boyan nodded. "Sweet? How sweet is it?" "Sweet as honey, like beeswax honey. I've never had it." "Is it really sweet?" Sia Boyan hadn't actually tasted it either, but he still nodded. "Very sweet." "So, does eating something sweet make you feel happy?" Happy, Sia Boyan thought. Probably. The next day, Feng Wan came over again, this time with a loaf of bread. "Could you taste this bread for me? Is it sweet or savory?" The third day was a piece of cake. "Taste it. Does it taste the same as yesterday's bread?" It wasn't that she couldn't eat it, she was clearly using her inability to eat as an excuse to pity him. "Are you pitying me?" Feng Wan blinked in confusion. "You mean these snacks? I genuinely can't eat them because I'm sick. I was saving them for my little sister, but our parents refused to bring her here. I gave them to you because I was worried they'd expire. But don't worry, they're still within the expiration date." Feng Wan was distressed, unsure how she could possibly bring her sister to live with her. Her tears were useless, her pleas were useless, and reasoning with them was useless too. She even ended up in the hospital once due to extreme emotional distress, but her parents still wouldn't budge. Sia Boyan listened quietly as Feng Wan recounted her story. After she finished, Sia Boyan said, "It has to be you who needs her, not her who needs you." "What?" Feng Wan didn't understand. Sia Boyan explained, "She has to be valuable to come back. It's not about what she needs to gain, but what use she is. Otherwise, she's just a burden, and burdens are always discarded." Feng Wan was deeply saddened after hearing Sia Boyan's words. After a long silence, she nodded. "I understand." The child he'd never met tugged at Sia Boyan's heartstrings. He'd expected the child to have a hard life, but not this hard. That child was born for Feng Wan's sake, yet her umbilical cord blood wasn't a match. The doctor said this was quite common, but Feng Wan's family couldn't accept it. Their first thought was that the baby had been switched. How ridiculous. They had tested the umbilical cord blood, yet they still believed the child was wrong. Feng Wan's parents even obsessively went as far as to get a paternity test, but the elders back home just don't buy into these so-called scientific certifications. The results speak for themselves. Everyone else's biological children are fine, so why not that kid? Even if she's biologically their child, she's not one of them at heart. So, giving her a bite to eat and not letting her starve to death is already more than enough. The child was raised by the old man like an animal, a 3.5-year-old child, who could barely even speak. Sia Boyan couldn't bring himself to recall the Feng Yin he first knew. Every time he thought of it, a dense, throbbing pain would spread through his heart. So, when Feng Wan entrusted her to him, Sia Boyan agreed without a moment's hesitation. Someone once asked him if he truly loved Feng Wan or Feng Yin. Given a second chance, things should turn out differently this time. For people like them, simply surviving is already a struggle. Love was something they had never even considered. The three of them huddled together for warmth, supporting each other as they moved forward, and that was enough to satisfy him. But Feng Wan's body was already at its breaking point. Feng Wan said it wasn't worth sacrificing one of Ying Ying's kidneys for a body like hers. Sia Boyan remained silent in tacit agreement, yet watching Feng Wan's gradual decline filled him with utter despair. Feng Wan pleaded with him, "Promise me you'll take care of Yining, look after her for life." This went without saying. No request from Feng Wan was even necessary. She was the little girl he had raised himself, and he would undoubtedly take care of her for the rest of his life, never missing a single moment. But the little girl grew up, and she started to have her own ideas. She said trading a kidney for a year and a half of Feng Wan's life was absolutely worth it, and Sia Boyan couldn't even bring himself to try and talk her out of it. He knew that once the young lady found out, it would be beyond his control. A year or so, to be precise, a year and a half. The young lady was sitting on the balcony, and Sia Boyan was so scared he stopped breathing. But the young girl just smiled and said, "A year and a half, and I've made a profit." Sia Boyan pleaded, "Yining, please be good, don't move." The young girl looked back at him. "Brother Boyan, Don't be scared, I won't kill myself, I still need to be here for you. If even I die, what will you do? Xia Boyan, trembling, stepped forward and carried the little girl down from the balcony. He said, yes, stay with me, you have to stay with me. From now on, they would be the only two left in this world. The end. Story 2. My sister and I both got bound to a life turnaround system. She chose the beauty enhancement path while I opted for the academic excellence route. Unexpectedly, my sister lost her looks and fell into poverty after failing to win genuine love from men. Meanwhile, I became the youngest academician, made groundbreaking contributions in cutting-edge physics, got pursued by Beijing's most eligible bachelor, and achieved both fame and fortune. My sister, consumed by jealousy, ran me over with her car. When I opened my eyes again, we'd both been reborn on the day the system bound us. My younger sister beat me to it, choosing the academic overlord system. Sis, this time let me become the top genius in academia for you. Watching her smug smile, I slowly curved my lips in response. Little did she know, every gift from fate comes with a price. Only after Lin Jinyan ran me over did I realize she'd always regretted her choice. At 16, both Lin Jinyan and I received a system-bound opportunity to turn our lives around. The mysterious voice said we only get one chance to choose, beauty beyond compare or genius-level intellect. You only get one shot at this life-defining choice. Have you decided? In her past life, my sister chose the beauty system, convinced that looks were the golden ticket to high society. But when she actually climbed higher through beauty and saw the wider world, she realized beauty wasn't the rare commodity she'd imagined. She was just a plaything for those rich boys, never receiving their genuine love. They were infatuated with her beauty, but it was nothing more than fleeting pleasure. In the end, my sister lost all her charm without true love, abandoned by her sugar daddy and left in utter destitution. Meanwhile, I got bound to an academic overachiever system, becoming the youngest academician while being pursued by Fu Nianyu, the unattainable crown prince of Beijing's elite circle that even my sister couldn't conquer. I achieved both fame and fortune. After she killed me out of jealousy, we found ourselves back at 16 again. This time, before the mysterious figure could finish speaking, my sister shouted, I choose the academic overachiever system. The mysterious figure revealed half their face, smiling at the younger sister. But just now you said you wanted unparalleled beauty. The system is derived from your innermost desires. Are you truly certain about becoming a top student? The younger sister answered greedily and impatiently, yes, I must become a top student. Looks are nothing compared to brains. The mysterious figure pondered for a moment before turning to me. What about you? Seeing the stranger actually seeking my opinion, my younger sister suddenly rushed forward and snatched the colorful orb from their right hand. The glowing orb merged with her upon contact. Her sister's eyes sparkled with ecstasy. Perfect. This time, the fame, fortune, and chance to be pursued by Fu Nianyu will all be mine. The mysterious figure remained motionless, only his smile growing gentler. You can only bind with the beauty counterattack system now. The mysterious figure handed me another glowing orb before gradually turning translucent and vanishing. The gifts bestowed by fate have been entrusted to you. Hosts, please fulfill your missions diligently and embrace a blissful life. My younger sister, completely absorbed in her newly bound system, looked up and sneered at me. You enjoyed so many privileges in your past life, sister. Now it's my turn. I looked at her, lips curling slowly without a word. Lin Jinyan still didn't realize that fate's so-called gifts always come with a price. Even with assistive machines, human effort remains indispensable too. Lin Jinyan began to reap the benefits of the system. Initially, all our systems come with built-in cheats. The academic prodigy system enhances Lin Jinyan's memory and comprehension, making her study efforts twice as effective. She delighted teachers and classmates by demonstrating her photographic memory. How did Jinyan suddenly become so brilliant? How enviable. Lin Jinyan basked in the flattery, floating on cloud 9. Noticing me in her peripheral vision, she covered her mouth with a light chuckle. Actually, big sister studies hard at home too, but just can't seem to focus. Sigh. I'd be happy to share my study methods with my sister if she wanted, but she never asks me for help. Her deskmate, who actually wanted to ask Lin Jinyan for problem-solving advice, immediately chimed in, oh come on, Lin Qingyi's just not that bright. Even if you taught her, Jinyan, it wouldn't make a difference. How can two sisters from the same mother be so different? Jinyan's brilliant while Qingyi's just, well, not. Am I stupid? I stared at my math test paper with a 124 score. Truth be told, my grades aren't actually bad now. It's just that Lin Jinyan keeps reinforcing stereotypes in her remarks, making people think I secretly study at home and envy my sister's academic performance during school years. Everyone tends to view top students through rose-colored glasses, especially someone like Lin Jinyan, who aces exams without even trying. Intelligence is a rare commodity, hard-earned and deeply enviable. The boys in class started teasing me on purpose, trying to get my attention. The beauty system was flexing its power too. Lin Jinyan and I used to look almost identical, but then I started blossoming into my own. I grew taller, my waist slimmer, my complexion fairer, with eyes and brows that became strikingly beautiful. In this school where everyone went barefaced, people began noticing my breathtaking beauty. What's the point of being pretty? A student's real job is to study. True, Lin Qingyi may be pretty, but Lin Jinyan is so sharp, she'll always be my goddess. Lin Jinyan basked in smug satisfaction at this. I watched coldly from the sidelines without uttering a single word to her. Little did she know, the genius system doesn't make people smarter for nothing. In her past life, she had to win others over to gain the genuine affection of the chosen one, while I had to work twice as hard, burying myself in studies, just to achieve academic success. Intelligence alone isn't enough. Those at the top never lack talent in the end. What truly matters is who works harder and endures the loneliness of fruitless efforts longer. The world is full of beautiful and intelligent people, yet not everyone achieves success. Behind every glamorous appearance lies twice the effort. Fortune never favors those who seek rewards without work. 3. Lin Jinyan quickly secured her position as the top student in the grade. She was surrounded by nothing but academic high achievers, but she noticed I wasn't being ostracized by all the girls like she had been in her past life. On the contrary, everyone still chatted and laughed with me as usual. She couldn't comprehend why, despite sharing the same beauty, being featured on the confession wall multiple times, and becoming the school's undisputed belle, I never faced jealousy from other girls. Truth be told, in her past life, people disliked her for reasons beyond her looks. Lin Qingyi, I'm taking you to karaoke after school. Yuan, Su Lang, the notorious bully from the next class, was loitering at our doorway again. Su Lang came from a wealthy family with powerful connections. His father had ties to both legal and underground circles, owning the largest entertainment complex in town. With that kind of influence, even teachers tread carefully around Su Lang. In their past life, Su Lang had pursued Lin Jinyan with the same fiery intensity. Back then, Lin Jinyan loved the spotlight, often riding pillion on Su Lang's motorcycle for all to see like some spoiled heroine from a teen novel. She skipped class every day while others studied hard, bullying classmates by riding on Su Lang's coattails. So despite her breathtaking beauty, plenty of people still couldn't stand her, but I didn't follow in her footsteps. Su Lang loomed over me, palms planted on my desk as he stared down with arrogant superiority. He's handsome, generous with money, and has tons of admirers, but has a terrible temper. So are you coming or not? Give me an answer. I shook my head. Not going. I'm heading home today. This was the fourth time I'd turned Su Lang down. He was visibly impatient, his eyes flashing with irritation, and the stares from those around him only fueled his anger. Lin Qingyi, don't push your luck. While I still have a soft spot for you, quit playing hard to get. The crowd watched the spectacle in tense silence, no one daring to speak up. After all, Su Lang had just hospitalized a student who crossed him last month. I lowered my gaze and pinched my thigh hard. Then I looked up with red-rimmed eyes, tears glistening in them. Su Lang, how could you do this? Su Lang's rising anger instantly subsided as he scratched his head in confusion. Damn it, I didn't even say anything about you. Stop crying, will you? Fine, we won't go then. I ignored him, sniffled, wiped my tears and ran out of the classroom. Had to run another second and I wouldn't be able to hold back the tears. I have to admit that beauty can sometimes be a weapon, but it's a double-edged sword wielded poorly, and you'll only hurt yourself. Going head-to-head with Su Lang is clearly unwise. Playing the vulnerable card keeps me in the safety zone. Without the means to protect myself, my beauty feels like a child carrying gold through a crowded marketplace. But I have no intention of following Lin Jinyan's path, seeking protection from some powerful man. Entrusting your life to strange men and trying to leash them with beauty is fundamentally against human nature. Even the most exquisite flower loses its charm with time. A caged canary was never meant to soar. I was born to soar like an eagle. For don't let my slender frame fool you. I can run like the wind. By the time Su Lang came looking for me, I'd already vanished into thin air. In the dingy storage room, I sat on a tumbling mat with its stuffing coming out, pulling out the vocabulary notebook I'd stashed in my bag during the chaos. Perfectly quiet, ideal for memorizing vocabulary. I set up my phone stand while reciting from memory, recording a video of myself, planning to post it online when I get home. In this era of thriving digital economy, exceptional beauty can be monetized instantly. My study vlog account has now gained 600k followers. My fans affectionately call me Ducky and love watching me memorize textbooks. Who wouldn't want a daughter like this? A fair-skinned, lovely girl studying diligently. Among beauty influencers, I quickly stood out with 90% female followers, essentially gaining a squad of internet moms. Just as I suspected, the system's affection collection isn't limited by gender. The motherly love from netizens also counts as a successful conquest, with my student status enhancing it. The system-granted beauty no longer feels intimidating. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, I'm amazed by how extraordinary my face is. My inbox was flooded with messages from talent scouts, all insisting I should shine in the entertainment industry and become a star. In her past life, Lin Jinyan briefly entered showbiz, but her career was fleeting. She was quickly tucked away by admirers after losing her looks. Gossip accounts still frequently posted her before and after photos, lamenting how time had ravaged her beauty. Ravaged my foot. She was only 32. I'm no genius in this life, just an average intellect. The cutthroat academic world clearly isn't for me, but I'm not planning to debut this early either. With enough effort, even ordinary people can get into top universities. In the digital economy, I can monetize my looks almost instantly. Relying on looks isn't a sustainable strategy. While my account was thriving, Lin Jinyan's academic performance began fluctuating. She snapped at the system. Aren't I supposed to be a top student? Why am I stuck on this problem? The system replied in a flat mechanical tone, I can only provide intelligence. The host must acquire knowledge independently. Lin Jinyan was never one to sit still. She'd rather die than hit the books. But after placing second in her grade yet again, she had no choice but to start studying. With the system's assistance, learning became effortless for her. Soon enough, she reclaimed her spot as the top student in her grade. My parents were thrilled about this. Everyone loves a well-behaved kid who excels academically, and my folks are particularly obsessed with educational credentials. Chingy, why can't you be more like your sister? You barely made the top 70 in your grade, while Jinyan consistently ranks first, tilting my head. I replied with a smile, but Dad, I've actually improved from before. My homeroom teacher said my grades are good enough to get into a decent university. My mother frowned. Even in our past life, she never liked Lin Jinyan, especially as the girl grew more beautiful. She always thought there was something shady about her. This time around, that suspicion fell on me instead. I heard you've been hanging around with some questionable men. Lin Chingy, don't you dare embarrass our family in public. Lin Jinyan watched me with malicious glee. After our parents finished venting their anger, she approached with a smug smile, pulling me to the mirror. Sister, what good is beauty now? This time, I'm the one our parents truly love. I looked at her and sighed inwardly. Why am I still obsessing over these things even in this second life? The truth is, neither of our parents truly loved us. They only favored children who could bring benefits to the family. In my past life, after I became a renowned scientist, my parents turned into role models among relatives and friends, constantly dragging me out of the lab to show me off for appearance's sake. Not everyone is fortunate enough to have parents who love their children unconditionally. Sometimes, parental love comes with strings attached, but that's alright. Life is about embracing imperfections. Lin Jinyan told her parents about Su Lang pursuing me. Lately my mom's been watching me like a hawk. She's terrified I'll do something to disgrace the family, to the point of wanting to lock me up at home. Don't you dare stoop to such disgraceful behavior. A man's got his whole life ahead of him. If you get into trouble, don't expect me to bail you out. Back in the day, any woman fooling around with men would have been drowned in a pig cage. My mother's shrill voice echoed in my ears. I dismissed her as some ridiculous side character from a trashy novel, but today, I didn't head straight home. Su Lang intercepted me at the school gate. Lin Chingy, your sister told me everything. You look down on me, don't you? Lin Jinyan knew Su Lang all too well, a muscle-bound simpleton with a short fuse and an oversized ego. When Su Lang realized my repeated rejection stemmed from contempt, he stormed over to confront me. He dragged me away from the school gate, his face twisted in anger as he demanded an explanation, looking down on me. Are you? I've got plenty of ways to deal with you. I looked helplessly at Su Lang and let out a soft sigh. Same old tricks. Are you going to bully me along with Lin Jinyan too? Teenage boys are easy to manipulate, even someone as morally bankrupt as Su Lang. Picking unnecessary fights without guaranteed victory is downright stupid. I've got too much to live for to go down with trash like you. Who's bullying you? I covered my face and started sobbing, refusing to answer no matter how Su Lang pressed me. In the deserted equipment room, only my muffled weeping echoed, the sound drilling into Su Lang's skull. Lin Jinyan dragged Fu Nianyu toward the equipment room under the pretense of discussing homework. Su Lang was the type to lose all restraint when angry. Taking Lin Qingyi away today would surely end badly for her. She didn't just call Fu Nianyu, but also rallied other classmates and even preemptively phoned their parents, saying her sister had run off with troublemakers and couldn't be stopped. The whole group marched toward the equipment room in a boisterous procession. Lin Jinyan walked with a spring in her step, her face lit up with a radiant smile as if she could already picture Lin Qingyi's reputation crumbling before her eyes. Fu Nianyu trailed behind her impatiently. Why must we do problems in the equipment room? Lin Jinyan murmured softly. I think the equipment room has better ambience. Seeing a few classmates nearby, Fu Nianyu decided not to say anything more. As Lin Qingyi pulled open the lounge door, she spotted her parents hurrying over from a distance without even properly seeing what was happening inside. She screamed the moment the door opened, "Mom, don't come over. I can't believe my sister would do something this shameful." My parents immediately cursed our family's misfortune upon hearing this, pushing past the stunned classmates to step forward, then froze in the doorway. "Mr. Su, what are you doing here?" 6. Inside the equipment room. It wasn't the scene of me and Su Lang in a physical altercation that Lin Jinyan had imagined. Because there's actually a third person here. Su Lang's elder sister, Teacher Su Huan. A table stood in the spacious room where Su Lang and I sat on opposite sides, while Teacher Su Huan held an exam paper, explaining key test points. The sight of so many people gathered at the doorway made her freeze momentarily. What brings you all here? Are these parents? What's the matter? The atmosphere instantly became extremely awkward. All the classmates who came with Lin Jinyan heard what she just said. The scene inside the room was clearly nothing to be ashamed of. My parents' curses got stuck mid-sentence, leaving my dad choking so hard he nearly rolled his eyes. How? Why is Teacher Su with Qingyi? Su Huan's calm gaze carried the natural authority of an educator. Qingyi had some questions she wanted to ask me. I promised to help her after class. Hearing this, everyone turned to look at Lin Jinyan. A classmate couldn't help but say, "Jinyan, didn't you see Teacher Su earlier? Why would you say something like that?" Seriously, I almost thought Lin Qingyi was up to something in there. Fu Nianyu, already visibly irritated, grew even more sullen. Lin Jinyan misunderstood Fu Nianyu, assuming his sapiosexual nature explained his supposed undying devotion to me in our past life. In truth, Fu Nianyu only cares about personal gain. His passionate pursuit of me in our past life wasn't just out of affection. It was primarily because of the high-profile project I was leading. The groundbreaking research from this world-class team could generate millions in profits. Securing this collaboration would elevate the Fu family's status significantly. Someone of Fu Nianyu's social standing would never entertain naive romantic notions. Though still young, this reincarnated Fu Nianyu clearly retains the same calculating mindset from his previous life. A few words were all it took for him to understand why Lin Jinyan had summoned him. "Lin Jinyan, I didn't come here to watch some catfight between your little sisters, Nianyu." Lin Jinyan called Fu Nianyu's name plaintively, but her coquettish glance was wasted on blind eyes. "Honestly, I had no idea my sister was here. My eyes must have been playing tricks on me. I only saw Su Lang and my sister together, and I thought she was." She deliberately paused, speaking with suggestive ambiguity. "After all, everyone knows Su Lang's been pursuing my sister." At the word pursuing, my mother's face contorted. If Teacher Su hadn't been present, she probably would have started scolding me right then. In her eyes, any conflict between men and women can be blamed on the woman's impropriety. Physically present, mentally stuck in the Qing dynasty, my mother somehow slipped through the cracks of China's reform era. If given the chance, I'd recommend exhibiting her at the Capitol Museum. She'd make a perfect living exhibit of late Qing commoners' mentality. My mother remained silent, but Su Lang spoke up. "He might be a jerk, but he's not completely brainless." It suddenly dawned on him that Lin Jinyan had been using him. "Cut the crap, Lin Jinyan, wasn't it you who told me to come find Lin Qingyi here today?" Su Lang sneered coldly. "So this is your little trap for us? You think I'm as despicable as you? Such foul schemes for someone so young. Let me make this clear, Lin Qingyi and I share nothing but pure academic camaraderie. We came here today solely to study with my sister." "Studying, got that? Are your tear ducts plumbed to your bladder, seeing everyone through piss-colored lenses? A filthy mind sees filth everywhere." Unable to bear the judgmental stares after Su Lang's brutal verbal assault, Lin Jinyan covered her face and fled in tears. My mother shot me a glare before rushing after her in concern. Only after Su Lang finished did Su Huan interject apologetically. "Please don't take it to heart, Mrs. Lin. My brother's just a rebellious teen who speaks without thinking." With a meaningful glance, She signaled Su Lang to apologize. Su Lang snorted defiantly, "Sorry, uncle, I just call it like I see it." With the teacher and all his classmates watching, what could my dad possibly say? Utterly humiliated, he mumbled some incoherent pleasantries before scurrying after my mother. Before leaving, he reminded me to head straight home after studying. The classmates awkwardly bid their goodbyes at varying heights before scattering in disarray, determined to ruin my reputation. Lin Jinyan deliberately summoned the class's notorious gossip monger. "I trust Little Trumpet won't let me down." Lin Jinyan's story will spread to every corner of the campus. 7. After Su Lang was sent home by Su Huan, she drove me back. Rush hour traffic crawled through the dim twilight, with taillights merging into a beautiful crimson river. Su Huan asked me, "How could you be so sure Lin Jinyan would bring people to the equipment room?" I smiled. I'd already started making arrangements the day she went to see Su Lang. Contrary to Lin Jinyan's assumptions, while I often rejected Su Lang publicly, we maintained casual private contact. Like managing a client, I'd occasionally exchange ambiguous messages with him. That's how I easily extracted the time of Lin Jinyan's meeting with Su Lang. Judging by Su Lang's response patterns, I suspected Lin Jinyan was trying to set me up today. Knowing Lin Jinyan as I do, her only play would be exposing my puppy love with Su Lang in front of everyone, making our parents lose faith in me, forcing me to relive her past life's mistakes in our previous lives. Su Lang and Lin Jinyan also got caught by a teacher in the equipment room. Mom dragged Lin Jinyan home for strict discipline back then. It was only after I promised to keep my sister in line that Mom allowed her to return to school. She's trying the same old trick, calling our parents to rob me of my education. She doesn't just want to live the life I had in my past incarnation, she wants to destroy me completely. We share the same mother's womb, the closest bond this world could forge yet. Twin flowers rooted in the same soil don't share nourishment, they compete ruthlessly to drain each other's vitality. Whether for Lin Jinyan murdering me in my past life or her attempts to ruin me now, I owe her no kindness. Professor Su, I truly appreciate you trusting me enough to play along with this act. The moment I spotted Su Lang at the school gate, I immediately called Su Huan, which is why she arrived at the equipment room so quickly. Just as I was fake crying in front of Su Lang in the equipment room, Su Huan burst through the door with exam papers in hand. Beating him to the punch, Su Huan focused on driving, her porcelain profile framed by rimless glasses that accentuated her piercing gaze, a perfect blend of feminine wisdom and composure. "This is no trouble at all. As partners, I'm happy to do you this small favor. To be honest, this is also a test of sorts." Su Huan calmly analyzed his thoughts. "You claim you can help me secure the Su family inheritance, but I need proof of your capabilities. Empty promises won't cut it. I know my brother all too well. He's all brawn and no brains, charging through life like a bull in a china shop, not the sharpest tool in the shed, nor particularly talented, but fate smiled on him by making him the only male heir to our family fortune. Ruining him would be child's play. The real challenge is doing it without my parents catching on. Still, you've handled it beautifully. I'm quite pleased. Pleasure doing business." "Yes. Su Huan and I are business partners." After graduating from a top-tier business program at a prestigious international university, Su Huan was forced by her family to teach high school upon returning home, while also being required to spend 3 days weekly meeting potential suitors from similar social circles to arrange a strategic marriage. Despite these constraints, Su Huan from that lifetime still carved her own path through sheer determination, eventually becoming the head of the Su family. Though she doesn't remember, we were once comrades who trusted each other with our lives. Different paths may lead to the same destination when you use the right approach. Sometimes I think life is like a card game, we're all dealt different hands, and the key to winning lies in how we strategically play our limited cards. Whether it's the beauty system or the academic system, both can leverage existing resources to achieve ultimate goals. What truly matters isn't the system or cheat codes, it's me. 8. Lin Jinyan's eyes were red and puffy at home. Clearly, she'd been crying for a long time. My parents wore stern expressions, yet couldn't bring themselves to scold me. "Chingy, you're not a child anymore. You should maintain proper boundaries with male classmates. Hanging around with troublemakers like Su Lang will ruin your reputation." My mother pleaded earnestly, trying to steer me back to what she considered the right path. Of course I wouldn't argue with her pointlessly. "You're absolutely right, Mom. I don't really want to get too close to Su Lang either, but whenever teacher Su Huan gave me private tutoring, she always brought Su Lang along. You know she's the best teacher at our school. Most students can't even get on her waiting list for extra lessons." My mother frowned, her tone softening since I was telling the truth. "Your teacher should know better, especially with how Su Lang behaves." I sighed. After all, Su Lang is her own younger brother. My father chimed in, absolutely, it's only natural for an elder sister to look after her younger brother. I smiled without saying a word. My father was speaking from the heart. He spent his whole life feeling ashamed for not having a son in this twisted household. It's no surprise that Lin Jinyan and I have such a superficial bond, but at least I never meant her harm. I turned to meet Lin Jinyan's gaze, our shared secret passing silently between us after our parents retreated to their bedroom. Lin Jinyan glared at me with red-rimmed eyes and hissed, Lin Qingyi, dodging the bullet this time won't save you. I'll become the youngest academician, the final victory will be mine. I nodded with a smile and asked softly, Chinan, am I beautiful? She scoffed, you haven't even won Su Lang over yet, you're behind where I was in my previous life. What good is beauty? The day your conquest fails, you'll lose everything. Lin Qingyi shot me an icy glance, carrying a malice and anticipation she herself hadn't noticed. Pity she's doomed to be disappointed in me. My video channel thrived, with fans showing genuine love, my progress far outpacing Lin Jinyan's previous life. Ironically, she kept slacking off in her studies, aced every exam as the top student, yet made zero actual progress. Activating the straight-A student system isn't something you can just wing and succeed at. The system's feedback was just too subtle for Lin Jinyan to perceive. 9. After the equipment room incident, Lin Jinyan's school life took a noticeable downturn. Jealousy is an emotion that festers all too easily. Soon, the whole school was buzzing with rumors that Lin Jinyan envied her beautiful sister and kept sabotaging her out of spite. Better steer clear of Lin Jinyan, who knows when she might turn on you next. Straight-A students really are different. How twisted do you have to be to betray your own sister? Su Lang started leading the charge to make things difficult for Lin Jinyan. He'd tried giving me a hard time before too, but failed miserably. After all, critical thinking was never his strong suit. But bullying Lin Jinyan, that came naturally to him. I occasionally warned Su Lang not to cross the line, though just for show. Of course, truth is, I'm subtly undermining Lin Jinyan behind the scenes. I did the same thing as Lin Jinyan, and there's no shame in that. The only difference, she failed where I succeeded. During lunch break, Su Lang came jogging over with a trendy bubble tea for me. He skipped class all morning just to wait in line for it. In her past life, Lin Jinyan never received such treatment because she failed to understand men's inherent flaws. The unattainable always seems the most desirable. Beauty may catch the eye at first glance, but it's no strategy for the long haul. Su Lang is completely devoted to me now and follows my every word. At first, he just saw me as a pretty object to pursue, no different from plucking a flower on impulse. Only after investing more time and going through our push and pull dynamic did he fall deeper into obsession with me. Thanks, Su Lang, but you really shouldn't skip classes so often. Su Lang shrugged it off. No big deal, whether I study or not makes no difference. I just can't get the hang of it anyway. He was surprisingly candid about it. Stirring my straw, I asked him earnestly, if you don't like studying, what do you enjoy doing then? Su Lang paused for a moment before murmuring, actually, I just really enjoy gaming. After speaking, he looked at me with slight apprehension, probably worried I'd call him irresponsible, but I nodded earnestly and said, that's perfectly fine too. It's good to have something you love doing. You're genuinely skilled at games. My account racks up win streaks whenever you play casually. My cousin still hopes you'll carry him again sometime. Su Lang is so easy to please. Just compliment his gaming skills and he'll be over the moon. Hee. Just hit me up whenever you want a game. Sounds good. After a brief pause, I asked, Su Lang, are you planning to go pro? You're so good at gaming. I remember you've got 7 national titles, right? Su Lang scratched his head. I'd love to go pro, but my parents won't allow it. They say I need to take over the family business and shouldn't waste my life. Feigning confusion, I said, how is pursuing esports wasting your life? Doing what you love and creating value, that's what makes life meaningful. Su Lang was visibly moved. Qingyi, do you really think going pro is a good path? Absolutely, mastering anything to perfection is worthwhile. What's wrong with chasing your dreams? If not now, then when? Wait until we're in our 30s or 40s with regrets. Su Lang looked dazed, as if hearing for the first time that pursuing gaming dreams wasn't something to be ashamed of. I didn't interrupt his train of thought, just planted a seed in his mind. In his past life, I also made Su Lang give up the family business to go pro. It just wasn't as smooth sailing back then. Meeting me was his bad luck. Su Huan asked me if I felt any guilt. After all, my foolish younger brother genuinely cares about you now. I was puzzled. Why should I feel guilty? I only encouraged him to pursue his dreams. Even though I manipulated him, I didn't actually harm him, did I? Su Huan smiled with approval in his eyes. You've certainly thought this through. Of course I've thought it through. There's no shame in using men to achieve your goals. The real shame lies in being used by them and losing everything in the cutthroat world of fame and fortune. Beauty is just another resource to leverage, I hinted to Su Lang about going pro. Once Su Huan takes over the Su family, I'll secure a stake in the business. 10. I could also use Su Huan's capital to invest in that groundbreaking project from my past life, the one that never saw the light of day. Truth is, this world has never lacked geniuses, even with the scholar system I had in my previous life. That project wasn't solely my achievement. After rebirth, I lost the most crucial memories about that project's core. Now I can't meddle with it anymore, but that won't stop me from achieving my goals through alternative means. If you can't contribute effort, you can still contribute resources. It'd be foolish to relive one's life following old memories without change. Take Lin Jinyan for example. She's obsessed with replacing me and retracing my steps, never considering how the slightest alteration could trigger a butterfly effect. While she was still agonizing over whether to study for the next exam, I'd already amassed 35 million followers with my popularity meter maxed out. The system notified me, "Host, your popularity metrics are impressive, but fan devotion isn't exclusive or genuine. I'm well aware, you can't find true love through internet mommies, but no rush, slow and steady wins the race." As my follower count grew, people I knew started discovering my account. It began with classmates. "Holy crap, Lin Chingy, you're a full-blown internet celebrity now, no kidding. Over 1 million followers. That's insane. Can I take a selfie with you for my feed?" I smiled and said, "Of course you can." Classmates who took photos with me would post about me on social media. In everyone's descriptions, I was portrayed as a sweet, pretty, honest girl who loved studying. It also matched my fans' impression of me. My follower count skyrocketed after that, and the account landed me enough sponsorship deals to build up a nice nest egg. But Lin Jinyan caught wind of it soon enough. When I got home from school, my parents were sitting stone-faced on the couch. Lin Jinyan sat to the side, watching me with barely concealed glee. "Lin Chingy," my mother snapped first, "do you even realize a student's priority is studying? Who gave you permission to flaunt yourself online? Delete that account of yours right now." Lin Jinyan whispered from the side, "Mom, don't be too hard on sis. She's just trying alternative ways because her grades aren't good, right? Being an influencer isn't bad. My sister could support herself without going to college." Mom grew angrier by the second. "How dare she?" She turned and snapped at me. "Decent people don't flaunt themselves online. If you still consider me your mother, stop this nonsense right now." I sighed. "Mom, I was just posting about my study routine. Posting videos is just wrong. What kind of serious student films their study sessions? No wonder you can't score as high as Chinin. Your mind's never on your studies." I deliberately talked back. "Mom, do you think everything I do is wrong?" Then I turned to my dad with teary eyes and asked, "Dad, do you also think posting about my study routine is bad?" My dad sighed. "You're so immature. How many of those internet celebrities are actually decent people?" I used to be obedient and never talked back to my parents, but this time, I suddenly snapped and lashed out at them. Finally, I blurted out, "Do you favor my sister just because she gets better grades?" With that, I ran out of the house in tears. By the time my dad realized what happened and came chasing after me, I was already comfortably seated in Su Huan's understated Maybach, sipping bubble tea while editing videos. During class the next day, Lin Jinyan anxiously approached me in front of all our classmates and said, "Sis, you didn't come home last night. Mom and Dad were so worried." 11. "Where were you all night? I saw you arriving at school in some guy's car today." "Sis, don't throw your life away just to prove a point." As my classmates exchanged bewildered glances, my parents rushed in. Mom looked at me like I was her sworn enemy and slapped me across the face without a word. "Lin Chingy, have you no shame? Staying out all night? Jinyan told me you ran off with some man. You're going to humiliate me completely." The morning study hall teacher arrived fashionably late. "Mr./Ms. Lin, let's discuss this matter in the office first." Long black hair, frameless glasses, and a beige trench coat. The teacher who arrived happened to be Su Huan. After mentioning my parents, she fixed Lin Jinyan with a piercing stare. "Lin Jinyan, Lin Chingy called me last night after leaving home. I was the one who brought her to school this morning." Su Huan adjusted his glasses and said, "Just because the morning clouds blocked the sun doesn't mean you should mistake me for a man, does it?" The classmates burst into laughter. Lin Jinyan's face gradually darkened, though a lingering trace of joy in her eyes made the expression almost comical. "Let this be a lesson to everyone. Don't believe everything you hear. Rumors die with the wise. When sharing information, if you can't verify its truth, keep it to yourself. This isn't just about being responsible to others, it's about being responsible to yourself." With that, Su Huan left with the books in her arms. Taking my parents to the office, I bit my lip, tears welling in my eyes. Looking every bit the wronged innocent, that expression packed quite a punch. The classmates who were already swayed by Su Huan's words grew even more indignant seeing me like this. Lin Jinyan, why do you keep spreading rumors about your sister? Yeah, wasn't it the same story with the equipment room last time? Are you jealous of your sister? If she's prettier, blame your own bad genes. How could you be so spiteful? The cutting words hit like knives. Covering her face, Lin Jinyan ran out the door in tears. She must be wondering why, even after switching systems, she's still the one being targeted and mocked. At the end of the hallway, Lin Jinyan snarled at me, Lin Qingyi, you're feeling pretty smug, aren't you? Now I get it, people only like hypocrites like you. I smiled and said, don't play the innocent victim, you tried to screw me over and failed, because you're just that stupid, even with a second chance at life, you're still the same fool you were before. Lin Jinyan was seething with rage, barely suppressing her fury. All talk and no action. You really think I'm afraid of you? Professor Shilin will be coming to recruit students soon, and this time he's taking me with him. So what if you've become an internet celebrity? You couldn't even win Su Lang over. Do you really think your online fame will help you succeed with anyone else? She composed herself, turned slowly, and knocked on the office door. Meanwhile, I lowered my head to conceal the faint mockery in my eyes. Professor Shilin was my mentor in my past life, before the college entrance exams. He personally visited our school to select me as his final protege. It was through him that I gained access to cutting-edge physics, gradually broadening my horizons. But Lin Jinyan never knew the professor came to our school because I'd solved the challenge problem he'd set. He chose me first, then came looking for the school. So, Lin Jinyan, who's still anxiously waiting for Professor Shilin, did she ever answer the questions he left behind? My guess, probably not. The system won't guide hosts to complete tasks. It only provides assistance. Given Lin Jinyan's personality, she likely wouldn't assign herself extra study tasks, forcing someone who hates studying to become a top student. I can't tell which suffers more, the academic system or Lin Jinyan. In the office, Su Huan was still talking with my parents. Lin Qingyi is at a critical juncture with her college entrance exams. Whatever issues there are can wait until after the exams. Don't disrupt the child's focus. Besides, I've checked Qingyi's video channel. There's nothing inappropriate, just study-related content. 12. That's wonderful. Qingyi has always been a diligent student with good study habits. Sharing her notes could really help many people. My mother would always grovel before teachers. Hearing Su Huan say that, she immediately nodded in support of my studies. My father chimed in with an ingratiating smile, but I threw a tantrum and stubbornly declared I'd never go home. What's this nonsense? Do you expect your mother to beg for your forgiveness? My father yelled at me furiously while my mother wiped her tears, complaining how I'd grown too big for my boots. Lin Jinyan also began dabbing at her eyes. Her acting skills are still better than mine. She doesn't even need to pinch her thigh to cry. Sis, you should go home. It's all my fault for worrying too much and telling mom and dad about your situation. Su Huan sighed like a selfless teacher devoted to her students. How about this? Let Qingyi stay at my place for now. This way you'll feel more at ease. I can also tutor her and help with last-minute exam prep. The sobbing came to an abrupt halt. My parents exchanged glances, seemingly surprised by Teacher Su's unexpected kindness toward me. How could staying at the teacher's place be appropriate? It's just temporary anyway. Qingyi can return home after the exams. With Su Huan's support, I managed to move out smoothly. Unable to bear her classmates' sarcastic remarks, Lin Jinyan chose to go home for exam prep with the top student system backing her. Studying at home made no difference. At home, Lin Jinyan counted the days till Professor Shilin's arrival. Dreaming of her triumphant return to campus, I checked Professor Shilin's recent schedule, and China doesn't seem to be on the itinerary. Poor little sister, she's going to be disappointed again. After moving into Su Huan's place, we found it much easier to communicate. She handed me a stack of property listings and asked, "Which one do you like? I'll get it for you." Su Lang recently sneaked out for pro team tryouts behind his family's back. The kid's genuinely skilled. Su Huan and I originally planned to pull strings for his team placement, but turns out he didn't need any favors. Su Lang already had some clout in the gaming scene, with multiple teams scouting him. I asked Su Huan, Su Lang's going pro while keeping his inheritance options open. Have you thought about the succession plan after his esports career? Su Huan fiddled with the property details and flashed a radiant smile. That's 5 or 6 years down the road. If I can't establish myself within 5 years, I deserve to hand everything to Su Lang on a silver platter. What about you? Leaving home is just the first step, right? What's next? I chuckled. Naturally, to teach my little sister a lesson she'll never forget. Recently, Lin Jinyan has been quietly reaching out to Fu Nianyu in her past life. She relied solely on her beauty to charge ahead, never truly understanding how to win a man's heart. This time around, she tried the same old tricks, wielding her intellect like it was mere physical charm. 13. The results were less than stellar. After all, Fu Nianyu valued profit above all. Beauty and brains meant little in his calculations. Sometimes I find Lin Jinyan quite amusing, whether in past lives or this one. She never seems to consider succeeding on her own merits. Her beauty and intelligence always become tools to secure a powerful man's support, no matter how many lifetimes I live. I'll never understand her way of thinking. Lin Jinyan hinted to Fu Nianyu that she would become Professor Shilin's last disciple. Fu Nianyu immediately took an interest in her, taking her out to dinner several times. Oddly enough, my mother was delighted by this. She always assumed Lin Jinyan only went out to study with classmates, just like how she treated me in my past life. Truth be told, my mother doesn't actually favor academically gifted kids. My grades were decent by any standard. She simply resents pretty girls, but she's not entirely to blame. My father had a first love who was his white moonlight, and he nearly abandoned our family for her. Unfortunately, that woman only kept him as a backup and dropped him the moment she found someone better. Consumed by endless emotional turmoil, my mother channeled the pain of her failed marriage into hatred toward beautiful women. It's almost laughable. My father was the root cause of all this. He neglected his family duties. Yet my mother resents outsiders rather than him. This makes absolutely no sense. Lin Jinyan only returned to school after forming a connection with Fu Nianyu. Just like in her past life, she mistook everyone's hostility toward her as jealousy. I call this a rabid dog guarding its food. At the stairwell, Lin Jinyan smugly blocked my path. Lin Qingyi, it must sting seeing me with Fu Nianyu, doesn't it? I stared at her in bewilderment, completely baffled. Today's Professor Shilin's campus visit. The mentor who once favored you will only recognize my potential this time. Unfortunately, Professor Shilin isn't in the country. He's currently vacationing on a Thai island, and if all goes as planned, he's probably already met Su Huan, who's bringing the collaboration proposal. Fu Nianyu had been trying every possible way to become Professor Shilin's student, but Professor Shilin wasn't an easy man to please. Fortunately, I used to be his star pupil. Jinyan, I've never understood why you always treat me as an enemy when we're clearly operating on different systems. You live your life, I've got my own things to deal with, we've got nothing to do with each other, right? Perhaps Lin Jinyan herself had never considered the answer to this question. She didn't answer me, just shot me a resentful glance before turning away. I shook my head and returned to class with a sigh. Lin Jinyan was distracted all day long. She kept glancing out the window, hoping to spot an unfamiliar figure, but as the sun set, Professor Shilin still hadn't appeared. 14. Finally unable to contain herself, she rushed to the teacher's office. After what seemed like an eternity inside, she came running out in tears. Lin Qingyi, what on earth have you done? Why didn't Professor Shilin show up today? I tilted my head in confusion. What are you talking about? What professor? She fumed. Stop playing dumb. It's obvious. It's obviously. I cut her off coldly. You've already forced me out of the house. What more do you want? The moment I finished speaking, someone immediately stood up for me. Lin Jinyan got bullied but couldn't explain herself clearly, then ran out of the classroom with reddened eyes. My classmates all came over to comfort me. Has your sister gone steady crazy? What's really going on with her? The exams are coming up. Qingyi, don't take it to heart. A few close classmates knew how blatantly biased my parents were. Things will get better once you leave for college. Exactly, your accounts so popular you won't even need their allowance. Just stay far away from them then. I bit my lip, looking utterly wronged, yet secretly, I was calculating my next move. Lin Jinyan never returned to school, and her relationship with Fu Nianyu hung by a thread. She was probably still lying, planning to contact Professor Shilin on her own. By this time, Professor Shilin had secured Su Huan's sponsorship and was already immersed in hectic preparatory work. When Su Lang's rebellious gaming escapade came to light, he stubbornly refused to return home no matter what. Seeing his parents' distress, Su Huan stepped forward to shoulder his younger brother's responsibilities. Su Lang still needs a few more years to mature anyway. I'll manage the family business in his stead for now. Better than outsiders meddling. By the time Su Lang returns, I'll be married off. Perfect timing. Su's parents never suspected her. After careful consideration, they thought it was a brilliant plan and even praised Xu Huan for her maturity just before the college entrance exams. My parents finally remembered they had another daughter who wasn't at home. They took me back to have dinner with Lin Jinyan. Jinyan is definitely going to be the top scorer in the national college entrance exam. Lin Jinyan smirked triumphantly, standing by the bathroom sink. Lin Jinyan said coldly, "You may stop Professor Shilin, but you'll never stop me from taking the Gaokao, sis. As long as I'm still bound to this top student system, I'm destined for greatness. What about you? How's your mission going?" I just smiled without responding. She's such a foolishly naive kid. If I can't stop the college entrance exam, I can at least stop her. On college entrance exam day, Su Huan hired people on my behalf to block Lin Jinyan's car, making her miss the crucial test. This was the knockout punch I'd prepared for Lin Jinyan in the academic overlord system's missions. The college entrance exam is a pivotal stage. If this attempt fails, Lin Jinyan's current progress simply isn't enough to pass. How could I possibly let someone with a revenge system and hostile intentions roam freely? Half measures are pointless. When we act, it must be decisive. This is the final lesson I, as her elder sister, will teach Lin Jinyan. Lin Jinyan fell into a coma after being injured in a bystander brawl. She completely missed the national college entrance exam. I performed as expected. The results matched my predictions almost exactly. As I stepped out of the exam hall, the reporters at the entrance immediately perked up when they saw me. "Are you Qingyi?" I smiled and greeted the camera. "Hello everyone, I'm Lin Qingyi. Anything you'd like to say to everyone?" Hard work never betrays. Lin Jinyan only came to her senses after the exam ended. She completely lost her mind. After crying with her parents at home for hours, they reassured her that retaking the year would be fine. 15. But both Lin Jinyan and I knew it was impossible now. She missed Professor Shilin, and she missed the college entrance exams too. Her chance was gone. Soon, the academic overachiever system would revoke all cheats. She'd revert to her true self, never to be a genius again. I don't know how Lin Jinyan convinced our parents, but they seem to have reached an agreement. My father summoned me back home. "Qingyi, you'll repeat senior year. Let Jinyan take your university spot instead." I let out a bitter laugh. "Dad, do you think the admissions office is blind, or do I just look that much like Lin Qingyi?" "You're twins. What's wrong with letting your sister attend school? Jinyan's smart. She'll do just fine. You'll take the exam again next year." I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, and snapped a photo of me and Lin Jinyan. Anyone with eyes can see we're nothing alike, right? In the photo, Lin Jinyan was the beauty while I was merely presentable. She's nothing like my past self, and I'm nothing like her past incarnation. The face mirrors the soul, as they say. Mom, Dad, even if I look identical to Lin Jinyan, I won't give up my college opportunity for her. Jinyan, don't you think it's awfully convenient that there just happened to be a fight blocking your only route to the exam hall? Lin Jinyan's eyes widened, her breathing became rapid. "You did this?" My parents stared at me in astonishment. "What?" I pursed my lips into a smile and simply replied, "Guess what?" My father was boiling with rage, and in a fit of anger, he raised his hand to strike me. I nimbly dodged his swing. I had stayed planted by the door since entering, ready for a quick exit. Seizing the moment while the three stood stunned, I spun around, dashed out, and frantically jabbed the elevator button. After dashing out of the neighborhood, I slapped myself hard across the face. Then I turned on my phone and recorded a video of myself sitting in the taxi as I imported the freshly recorded clip to the drafts folder. An unknown text message popped up on my phone. It was from Lin Jinyan. "If I'm suffering, you're going down with me." Lin Jinyan made my life miserable by dragging our parents into online accusations against me. Through sobs, she begged her sister to come home, claiming she'd forgive her for deliberately sabotaging her college entrance exams. Our parents wore expressions of utter family disgrace. 16. Lin Jinyan even bought trending spots, and soon, hashtags about me skyrocketed to the top of the hot search list. Hashtag classmate Qingyi, hashtag Lin Qingyi scheming girl, hashtag Lin Qingyi's sister got screwed. After the incident blew up, a bunch of people came asking me what happened. The internet moms in the group chat were furious. "There's no way Qingyi would do something like that." "Exactly. She's not even capable of pulling that off." Your trust in me moves me deeply, and honestly makes me feel a bit guilty, because Lin Jinyan only told this single truth the entire time. I was truly the one who prevented her from taking the college entrance exam. Riding this wave of attention, I posted the pre-recorded video to my personal account. All this time, I've kept silent about my family. It's not what everyone thinks about protecting privacy. It's because I come from an unfortunate family. The video contains photos I took and recordings I made, including my mother's slut-shaming remarks and how my parents favor Lin Jinyan. The video ends with the slap mark still visible on my face. When I left home for the last time, I deliberately provoked Lin Jinyan and my parents. I'd been Planning for this day since my rebirth, children pay a heavy price to morally distance themselves from their parents. Thankfully, my plan worked out. The video went viral immediately after posting. Parental favoritism is a common issue in multi-child households. Through my video, people began sharing their own relatable experiences. Making peace with oneself is a lifelong lesson for every child with family trauma. Thankfully, I've long outgrown the age of begging my parents for love with video evidence. My parents' accusations against me lost all credibility. Lin Jinyan also caught considerable flack. The beauty system informed me that Lin Jinyan lost the academic prodigy system. Host, now that you've handled that issue, how do you plan to complete the mission? The beauty system seems puzzled. I barely even contact Su Lang these days, showing no intention to continue pursuing men. Fail the mission, and you'll lose everything just like Lin Jinyan did. I lowered my gaze with a faint smile. The mission will be completed, of course. The account classmate Chingy served as my test case for the assignment, and it confirmed my theory was right. There are countless ways to find true love in this world. The capacity to love me isn't exclusive to men. After securing partial equity from Su Huan's commitment, I channeled the funds into several investment projects. These are all projects I knew from past lives. Guaranteed moneymakers. Su Huan began systematically sidelining his father, consolidating control of the family business while offloading shady dealings onto the old man. 17. My father can rot in jail, not me. Besides, all that dirty work was his doing. I checked the legal code. None of it carries the death penalty. Let me think it through. Then I'll get my dad admitted. Well done, model son. No wonder we've been soulmates for 2 lifetimes. Professor Shilin's research findings were immediately implemented by Su Huan upon publication. In my past life, Fu Nianyu pursued me relentlessly for the Fu family's sake, and now in this life, he's obsessively chasing after Su Huan. See, this is how hypocritical a man's affection can be. If Lin Jinyan hadn't pinned her hopes on men so much, she probably wouldn't have lost her system for 2 lifetimes. The current Lin Jinyan never developed proper study habits. After losing her system's support, 2 years of retakes proved futile. She ended up hastily enrolling in a poorly reputed local college. Still unemployed, she now mooches off her parents. I once went back home and watched from a distance. Mom and Lin Jinyan were arguing at the neighborhood gate. Mom called her lazy and useless, saying we should have kept her sister instead. Lin Jinyan shot back mercilessly, saying she deserved it. This is what you owe me. You had it coming. I watched silently from behind the tree for a long time before walking away without a word. Lin Jinyan attempted suicide several times afterward but failed. Her mental state deteriorated, and she kept muttering about wanting to go back and make different choices. Sometimes I think Lin Jinyan and Mom are quite alike. They always shift blame onto others, never reflect on themselves, and simply avoid problems when they arise. If one can't face life's challenges head-on, it's understandable they'd end up with the wrong answers. After Lin Jinyan became like this, my parents repeatedly reached out to reconnect with me. They finally realized their younger daughter could no longer offer any benefits, while the eldest was thriving remarkably well. But they can hardly track me down these days. I'm too busy globetrotting while scouting potential projects. Su Huan called to ask, are you planning to sponsor new girls from mountain regions this year? Absolutely. As long as I'm breathing, I'll keep running this education foundation. For years I've invested in girls' protection initiatives, championed rural women's education, and sponsored countless children determined to change their fate through learning. Students I sponsor also get internship opportunities at Su Huan's company. These hardworking young women have thrived. 2 of Su Huan's top assistants today were actually scholars supported by my foundation. The mysterious figure said we only get one chance to choose, yet after leaving the mountain village, everyone's shining in their respective fields. Fortune favors the diligent. After establishing the foundation, my mission objectives were gradually accomplished. This world has never lacked genuine love. The children I've sponsored have all given me their most sincere affection. On the day the final mission was completed, the beauty system bid me a solemn farewell. You're the most unconventional host I've ever encountered, but I genuinely adore you. May your future shine just as brightly. I'm not sure if this counts as a rags to riches story, but I know this, even without the beauty system's enhancements, I'll live my life to the fullest.